35. It's the first home game this year under 60 degrees. Gorgeous day. And the Bills have deferred at the top after winning the toss. And Wisnowski gets it started. And the kick comes down to Mims, who's always a threat. Not this time. He is smothered up at about the 26-yard line. Got a Bill injury right away on the collision. And it was Dorian Williams, and Mims is also shaken up, by the way, the returner. Dorian Williams flat on the ground. One of the Buffalo linebackers. They're going to be without Bernard again today, so they can ill afford to lose him, but a helmet-to-helmet hit, and it's got them both shaken up.
That's going to be a very physical game today. We hope they're okay.
We'll step aside.
The $4.99 double cheeseburger meal at Burger King. It's the double cheeseburger you fell in love with, or the one you're about to. A quarter pound of beef patties, flame grilled with 2 slices of melty cheese, plus fries and a drink for just $4.99. You rule.
I'm being told this is Limu Emu from Liberty Mutual, who helps save you hundreds by customizing your car insurance.
And his partner, Doug, is the gentleman.
We're sent to the blue tents. So the first snap was going to come from the 26-yard line as the Broncos host their first playoff game since 2015. And here they go with Nix on the run, connecting, and he's got the rookie Bryant, who's becoming more and more of a force every game, and it goes for 12 yards. Bo Chapman Nix. He told us the mindset versus a year ago when they met the Broncos, Tony. Said last year it was like we were happy to be there. Now we say, let's go win the whole thing.
That's the key to this game. You have to believe that you're the guy who can go beat Josh Allen. It takes a while for players. Obviously, he talked about that last year, didn't have that same mindset. I think he does this year.
They started with Harvey on the first snap, but now they bring in McLaughlin, and they hand it off to him. They had him, Bosa had him behind the line. He was able to effort his way for a good-sized gain for 6. Jaleel McLaughlin.
You see the backside, Bosa comes right down the line. And McLaughlin does a great job getting back and then putting his foot in the ground, getting upfield. This is rare. Buffalo does not miss tackles very often.
Now, Bosa was not happy with his play last week in Jacksonville, and he had a chance to get a tackle for a loss and set him back 2 or 3 yards. Instead, it's just a 2nd and 4 from the gun. Pass play all the way. And Nix throws it. Goes back to Bryant. And it's a catch. He beat Taron Johnson in coverage. It was tight coverage, but Bryant making another play, and it goes for 15.
This ball's thrown perfectly low and away. And that does look like a catch, and you said it. They need a big day out of him today, and he's already started off with 2 great catches to start. That was incredible, Jay.
2 catches for 27 yards.
I was looking at that again to make sure, and it was.
1st and 10. They go to a 3rd time to Bryant. And he caught that behind the line and took it upfield for about 5. Let's talk matchups here as Bryant. Bryant is shaken up, Tony. You look at the players to watch here with Nix, and Ed Oliver comes off of IR and is available today.
Yeah, they haven't got that pass rush from the inside, and you'll see this is a huge point of emphasis today because Wattenberg, the center, is out. The one area of weakness for Denver possibly is at the center position with Forsyth, and I think they're going to put Ed Oliver in there and attack him. That will be one of those matchups that can make the difference, as you see Bryant looking like he's going to be okay.
Remember, they've already worked this first series without Mims, who had to go to the medical tent. You see big Ed Oliver. Played only 3 games this year, but as always, dominant when he did play. Had an ankle injury that set him out for 4 weeks, came back, torn biceps. Had actually a knee scope 3 weeks ago, but he wants to be a part of this thing, and what a big addition he could be. 2nd and 5. Time for Nix. Completes it. to little Jordan Humphrey, and he's short of the stick, so you got a 3rd and about 2 as Cole Bishop banged him out of bounds.
And this is a real good start right now for Denver. They need to get off to a good start. I always felt like that first drive after the 2 weeks, it's important to give him easy throws, stuff like that. He's already made 1 or 2 to settle you down. Sean Payton good at that. Now they've got two-way go. They can run or pass here.
And you know, it's been a struggle for them all season long, getting off to good starts. But looking in rhythm right now. What will they do here on 3rd and 1?
All man-to-man. Everyone's man. They've come out and said, we're just going to play. You know what we're in. See if you can beat us.
But Day is the running back. Nix keeps it. He's got the first. Good ball wizardry by Nix. He got the Bills to bite, and they've got another set of downs.
I want you to watch Atkins. This is the key. We're going to fake this and then come around, but Atkins can come all the way back across for the extra player. Milano's supposed to scrape over the top and take the quarterback. Great design by Sean Payton. That's the 3rd great design play on this drive.
Last year in that game at Buffalo in the wild card round, they scored on their first possession, but they never scored again and lost the game 31-7. Here's a 1st and 10. With Nix able to dump it off to Harvey, and the rookie from Central Florida is tackled down by Taron Johnson at the 21.
This is basically a cross by the running back. He's got to stand in the pocket. Here it comes. Boom. And that's what it's going to take today. Walker was right on him.
Yep, Deion Walker, the rookie out of Kentucky. That ball was tipped. Yeah. And Nix has hit on his first 5 throws.
You see the evolution from the quarterback last year, 2nd year in the system. They're battle tested. He has been impressive this year. This is no bigger moment, though.
2nd and 4. Keeps it again. Blocker out in front and dives near the yardage. They're going to mark him short. They're going to have another 3rd and 1 coming up for Denver.
Quarterback's legs today are huge. They've already done it twice on this drive, and I think getting outside to the edge. Buffalo is vulnerable on outside and wide runs in general. Using it with the quarterback is an even a better advantage.
Got the battle of the Shawns, the head coaches, Payton and McDermott. You might have seen Josh was sitting all alone on the bench, deep in thought before kickoff, waiting his turn to get the football. 3rd and 1, sneak, Nix. Close. Looks like it's going to be enough for a first. Oh, the crowd's angry with the spot. They've already held the football.
Timeout on the field for a virtual measurement.
They've already held it for 5.5 to start this game. Running behind Quinn Miners, their first-team All-Pro right guard.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah,
I would do that too.
They got 2 first-team All-Pros on that front. Oh, with Garrett Bowles being the other, their left tackle.
He has been as good as anyone in pass pro this year. He's like a wall over there, and I think that's a key matchup going against Bosa today and Russo and others. But we're going to see if his knee actually or shin went down early.
Virtual measurement says 2 inches short.
Hey, we got Gene here. Gene, you got any pieces of paper with
I've
him?
got a couple cards over here. If I put together, might make the 2 inches come. Yes.
Yeah, it's just tough to get the exact spot. So where they call it, you know, how would you overturn it? You know,
no, you can't. There's nothing there, any evidence to give you any other mark. But of course, this day and age in the NFL, you don't even think about decisions. You go for it. 4th and inches.
You're going to see Denver be very aggressive today on 4th down. I think you're going to have them go for it multiple times because they understand there's only so many possessions against the Buffalo.
By the way, Mims is in a slot to the right, so he has returned after that opening kickoff collision. Look at this, out of the shotgun. Now he steps up under center, easily has the first down. Powered right behind Alex Forsythe, his center, and picks up 4.
I'm so impressed with this Denver offense, the play calling. I mean, this was a genius way. We're pretending you can't hear me. Look at, there's no one there. They never were prepared for a quarterback sneak. You come out and empty. Hey, we're going over here, you guys. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It was wide open, Tony.
Sean's first 15 is on fire right now.
McLaughlin's the running back. They've already picked up 4 first downs in 6.5 minutes of action. McLaughlin fumbles the football. Milano almost had it. Also got a flag down, by the way. He was hit by Russo. The ball came out. The recovery's by the Bills, but we got to check the marker.
Might be offside. We saw him jump right there. If that's the case, that's a monster play that doesn't go Buffalo's way. This is how Buffalo has won playoffs in the past. They knock the ball out and create turnovers even when teams are moving it. We'll see the call.
Cam Lewis with the recovery.
The
Will it
result
hold
of
up?
the play is a fumble recovered by the defense. However, offside. Number 99 defense. Penalties marked half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
You saw it, Tony. Ogunjobi was offsides. Carl Cheffers with the details, and the Broncos are saved.
Are they ever? Because this is that moment right there where you're doing everything right, and then boom, to lose the ball. Seasons, playoff games, they come down to this sometimes, the little details.
Now you got a 1st and 5 inside the 10-yard line.
You got everything at your disposal because you can still get a first down. You can throw the ball, run it, any trickery, whatever you want. But I would motion the fullback back in, thank you.
Harvey, the running back. Nix, the ball carrier, decked back at the 10-yard line by Shaq Thompson, who made many plays last week at Jacksonville, including a pick.
You're not kidding, and they brought back the design quarterback run. This time, you had 2 Bill defenders, so he couldn't go get Shaq Thompson. He had to go to the corner, their fullback Prentice, and that was the adjustment that Buffalo's made on this drive, which this game will be about adjusting in-game in real time.
Okay, it's a loss of 1 as Josh Allen continues to wait his turn. Approaching the midway point of the first quarter. 2nd and 6 to the end zone. Oh, it was the perfect pass. And little Jordan with a big drop.
I mean, this was a perfectly thrown ball. You said it. It's like, oh, you got to make that. Watch this. It's a setup like it's going to be an option, and got away with a little bit of a pick there. That's why Johnson was late getting out, but that was another perfectly designed play that should have been a touchdown right there. Fortunate for Buffalo. Bo has not missed on anything, and he's got 5 rushes already, too.
That was his first incompletion. It should have been a touchdown.
Yep.
Now it's a 3rd and 6. Bills rush forward to the end zone, and he was trying to connect with Ingram. And after all that time, the drive breaks down inside the 10-yard line, Tony.
Yeah, there was a lot on that drive. It's still a great start. If I'm a Bronco fan, I'm excited. Things look like the way I'd want them to look. You got time in the pocket. My quarterback didn't come out with nerves as much as you might think. Good start, but they should have had 7.
Will Lutz comes in with a short field goal attempt. 28 yards is all it is. There's Lutz putting the first points of the divisional round on the board. Remember, Pat Bryant got shaken up. This pass might have been, if he was healthy, headed in his direction, right?
Exactly right, Jim. Great call.
Zone versus field goals.
But you know Josh Allen, how talented he is. Maybe, if not the best ever, he's right there close to him as a red zone quarterback at finishing those drives from 3 to 7. So he knows his team has to do the same. And they tried to do it with the legs and Bo a little bit there.
Here's the Lutz boot down to the 5. It's Davis. And he is ridden down by the first-team All-Pro special teamer, Devin Key. 28-yard return. Let's bring out Josh Allen, who somehow battered and bruised last week. Still completed 80% of his passes. 3 total touchdowns, including the game winner in the last minute. Every one of those injuries, you would see a lesser man probably be lost for the rest of the game. The head, the knee, the finger injury where you hit the helmet of a teammate on the throw. somehow led them to the come-from-behind win.
He did, and it was an incredibly physical game. It's a physical playoffs. Defenses all over the place, incredible.
Their first snap is a give to Cook, and look at this running lane. Cook past the 50 and all the way down to the 42-yard line before finally P.J. Locke is able to end it. But it is a 24-yard burst on the Bills' first snap.
They're going to put Cooper in a bind. I want you to watch him right here. Go ahead and run that. He's got to go ahead and decide. Is he going to go with Josh Allen in this motion across here? Nope, he got into a bind. He didn't know who had the ball. Great eye candy by Joe Brady to start the game.
Look at the hole, and look at Spencer Brown help free him. And by the way, I'm looking out on the field. Josh Allen's having communication issues in his helmet. They, for a minute, looked like they're going to try to run another helmet out to him, but they didn't. He's got a 1st and 10 at the Broncos 43. He's going to call a timeout. It's going to be all about that, I would think. It's the equipment. Yep. Timeout, Bills.
Here's going to be the issue today. When you come here, Sean Payton talked about it this week, and it was really key. He says, crowd, I don't want you to get really loud when they're walking to the line of scrimmage. I want you to get loud before he gets in the huddle. And that does change things a lot because it's hard to talk to the old linemen and everyone. When it's that loud, you got to say what? And they ask questions, then you get to the line late, then they ask another one, and then it's like, whoa, I got to take a timeout.
Changes helmets, resets, is ready to go. All those injuries suffered last week, plus a foot injury he had coming in. He told us if everything hurts, nothing hurts. That's his mindset.
That's the mindset you got to have. You got to take it if you're going to win these games.
Back to Cook. Another big opening. Surtain hit him first. By the way, Curtis Samuel, just brought off of IR, has been on the first 2 plays, and he threw a big block on that one. Surtain is down on one knee. He was the first to make contact with Cook on that run.
Yes, and it's just one guy you can ill afford to lose right there. I mean, last year's Defensive Player of the Year, and everyone knows you don't throw at him, and we'll see what happens here. It's also concerning that they're gashing him like this, and this is the one area where I was like, this is a bad matchup for Denver a little bit, Jim, because the size of Buffalo. Jacksonville was a big team, but Denver's not as big, but they got great talent everywhere, but they're built with speed as well, and Buffalo's going to try and impose their will and go big guys on the field and then get bigger and bigger.
Last year's Defensive Player of the Year is out. Does not look good. Remember, he suffered a late season injury and missed games in November. Chris Abrams' drain comes in for him. Allen's first throw open, and another first down picked up to Shakir, as the Bills have had 3 straight plays that have gone for 10+.
Watch Shakir right here. He's going to go up, motion, moves the defense over too far, and Allen with incredible instincts. He did that 2 or 3 times last week, where you're looking one way and then you come back and have to see it really fast.
Last week, their longest run was 11. They got 24 on the first play of the game today on the ground, then got 10 by Cook, and 11 on the pass play right there to Shakir. Now their 4th snap from the 22 and a first down. It's Cook, and he slides through some traffic before Hufanga tackles him.
One of the guys they went and got this offseason to stop him in this game.
Yep, he and Greenlaw, 2 big additions. But you look at how many times Allen was sacked this year, and of course the Broncos set the franchise record, leading the league with 68 sacks.
You're exactly right, Vance Joseph. Incredible season, but if they keep this up on the ground, these stats right here won't matter. They've got to earn the right to rush the passer, and right now they're not putting him in 2nd and long or situations that are bad.
2nd and 6. Back they go at the line of scrimmage. They connect with Brandon Cooks, and he is close to another first.
I mean, so impressed what he did last week. That ball on the outside, he's playing some of the best ball I've seen out of him in a long time. His attitude and approach when he came in, it was awesome. The vet said, I'll do whatever, put me up wherever, I just want to help these guys, and now he's got a huge moment in front of him.
They've got a 3rd and short last week. Allen so successful on the 3rd and short plays with help, including the winning touchdown. One of them, they carried him. Osiris Torrance carried him for a gain of 10 down to the 1-yard line. So
that's what makes them so hard, right? He gets 2 downs now. He's hard enough to stop once, and then once they get inside the 10, they can do it a couple times again.
Gilliam comes in to help administer the push. As always, it seems. Look at Allen, still standing up.
The whistle. They are taking way too long to blow these whistles. I even felt the carry last week, they took too long. I mean, at that point, and then Josh is even telling the official while he's in there, like, blow the whistle. It's like necessary roughness. The backup quarterback is scared. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Let's listen for the whistle here, Tony.
He's looking at the ref. He's telling him, blow it.
That did take a long time, but it's a first down as the Bills are engineering an impressive opening drive. They were the #1 opening drive offense in the league in the regular season.
Comes a timeout. I got the wrong personnel in.
Timeout called by the Broncos. You spotted it. It was chaotic on that side of the football. Of course, they're disoriented without Surtain.
Yes.
Who got shaken up on the second Buffalo snap. Let's take a look at the Bills and Broncos players who were selected to the AFC Pro Bowl roster this year. 3 from Buffalo, 6 from the Broncos. You can tune into the NFL Pro Bowl games powered by Verizon to watch these guys and the rest of the league's top stars square off in an AFC versus NFC flag football showdown coached by Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and Steve Young. Tuesday, February 3rd on ESPN and Disney XD.
Well, you just see what Denver has done. All these stars. I mean, they're so fun to watch on tape. You just love watching. We've been to Denver 5 times this year. It's just a great environment. But they got to stop him here. Josh Allen's legs, and they're going to give the ball to Cook most likely.
1st and 10 outside of the 11. They do give it to Cook. Trying to run behind Torrance, and for the first time they stack him up. And I'm thinking of Surtain. We were here when he got injured during the regular season with a partially torn pectoral muscle, and he had the same kind of reaction that day coming off the field that we saw here earlier. We'll see what the case is, but he's out of the tent now, carrying his helmet.
It's a good sign.
Yep. But he's not in on this play, which will be 2nd and 8 from the 10.
Their motions hurt people with the stacks and everything. We got to adjust to it.
Allen zips it down to the 7. That's all. As Singleton, one of those, able to push back Shakir. Now you got a 3rd down.
These are the plays of the game. We just saw on the other side. Buffalo got the stop against Bo Nix. Denver's turn. They need it here.
You talk to Vance Joseph as Surtain comes back onto the field. And Vance Joseph will tell you he calls these 4-point plays right here.
They are.
On 3rd and 6, pocket is clean. Now it collapses, and Allen takes off for the end zone. And instead, he gets right down at the sticks. The ball came out when the football hit the ground, and a lot's going to depend on the spot here.
Big chess match going on with the motion of the back, getting out there to see if it's man or zone. Once Josh recognizes it's zone, he looks one place and has an affinity to use his legs. 1st down, and guess what's coming?
Well, he hurries the team to the line. As again, he gets shoved, and he keeps driving, and he got about halfway home, but he's got the 1st down.
Oh, they didn't give him the 1st down.
Yep.
He's got it now. I thought he easily stretched the ball over. Didn't it look like it?
Well, it was close, but it was interesting to see him, out of perhaps concern about that football coming out on the 3rd down play, hurrying his team to the line.
Great catch. Great catch, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, Gene, is this a fumble right here?
Now, my thoughts, Jim, no, I don't think so. I think that you're already getting pushed back on the line to gain. Plunge. No, ground's not going to cause a fumble there.
They hurry up and snap the 4th down play, and they get what they needed. 1st and goal from the gun. Cook has it. Cook is dropped for a 2-yard loss.
And the decision to go up there thinking it was a fumble when it was actually a first down. The decision to do that could actually stop them here now with that loss right there. Makes it very difficult here. Remember, this is the #1 red zone defense in the National Football League for a reason.
Final seconds of the first quarter. 7th snap inside the 20. Davis is the running back. Pass, open, touchdown, touchdown, Buffalo Bills, McCole Hardman. That's the same play that he scored the game winner in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas in overtime for the Kansas City Chiefs.
This was an incredible play. I want you to watch. Surtain is here. The motion's going to come in, so you think that he's not going to actually get the ball, and then he comes out, and right there he's telling him to go over there. And that is why you motion. The communication gets disrupted. What a play call and design by Joe Brady.
No confetti falling this time for Hardman, as he had that game winner in the Super Bowl against San Francisco. He just got brought up this week. He's been on IR. He's been on the practice squad. And they go to him. Prater with the extra point. We'll be back, and all these issues about the wide receiver room for the Bills. They had lost 3 wideouts to IR in the last 9 days. Joshua Palmer, Gabe Davis, Tyrell Shavers, and they then brought up Curtis Samuel, who helped on that drive with a couple of key blocks, and McCole Hardman. And it's business as usual for Buffalo on the outside. They contributed.
I agree. And you can give Brandon Beane a little bit of credit. They did bring in guys. Remember, Samuel had a couple of touchdowns last year in the Broncos playoff game. He's here. He knows the system. And Cooks has played forever. He's got over 50 yards with 4 different teams in the playoffs now.
How about that? So Wisnowski kicks it through the end zone. As you see, Mims was back out there trying to return another one.
So do you remember 2023, Patrick Mahomes had to go on the road on their way to the Super Bowl. At that time, what he did is he was narrowed his focus, and they basically committed to the run. They went on the road and they scored early in the games. They were so efficient, systematic. It was almost like we are going to go ahead and just take what we give us right now, not trying to create big plays. And they'd always give themselves that wiggle room to feel calm down on the road in this environment. Huge drive to do that for the Bills.
Likely the final snap here of the first quarter as each team drives for scores. A field goal on one end, touchdown on the other. Ball's on the ground. Harvey dropped it. Back it comes to Nix, who now tries to throw it, and it's incomplete in the area of Troutman. Oh my goodness. The rookie fumble.
That was crazy.
End of one, 7-3 Bills, action-packed first quarter. You're watching the divisional.
It's a play action. That's why there wasn't guys downfield. He knew he could throw it. But Bo Nix was the only one who tried to hand off. It wasn't the running back's fault. I know we said it earlier, but it's, you know, Bo just needs to calm down just a little bit right there.
Goes as an incompletion and a 2nd and 10 to open the second quarter. Coming after him, and he's just going to heave it incomplete. We got some key injuries to get updated by Tracy. Down to you.
That's right, Jim. Bills linebacker Dorian Williams, who took a hard hit to the head on that initial kickoff, was carted into the locker room. He had imaging done on his neck, and then he was escorted to an ambulance, walked in under his own power, was taken to the local hospital. I will get you an update when I get it. And then an injury update for Broncos wide receiver Pat Bryant. He is out for the rest of this game with a concussion. Remember, he was carted off the field on December 21st with a concussion, so certainly some concern there.
Yes, and he missed time after that one, so that's a big loss for the Broncos, who have a 3rd and 10, and down the field they go. Sutton, that looks like it may have hit the ground. Cortland Sutton trying to reel it in, and it's incomplete, and a 3 and out for Denver.
And this was a rope, and it's really a great job by Cam Lewis. This is huge, getting his hand right in there and punching that ball perfectly. I'm telling you, that was the decision all week. Hancock played safety last week, kind of got hurt a little bit out there. Big decision by this staff, McDermott and Babbage. They put Cam Lewis back there. Huge.
And again, they're without Jordan Poyer, who usually starts at safety, so Lewis going in there instead of Hancock. Poyer out today, and Maxwell Hairston, the corner first rounder, also inactive. Here's the punt down to Hardman, and he makes the fair catch off the Crawshaw punt. 43-yard boots. Bills bounce it back onto the field after driving for a touchdown the first time. Bills, second series, commences at the 37-yard line. Again, it opens with a handoff to Cook, who's able to slither his way out to about the 43. He's looking good today. Gain of 5. Down, even have to play Mahomes or Lamar or Burrow.
It's not watered down.
Not at all.
Denver is amazing, so are the other teams.
And he beat them all, those quarterbacks I mentioned in the regular season. Look at him take off. There wasn't a big opening, but he found one. And finally, he barrels right into Talanoa Hufanga for a long gallop of 26.
Go ahead and watch Mahomes right here. He's going to go ahead and get back and look, and he knows it's man. At this point, when he sees everyone running man to man, that means there's only one guy right there who can get him. So he's like, I'm going to go there, and soon as Singleton went to the left, Allen runs right up the middle, and wow, what a big play. You can't play man a lot against him. He'll use his legs.
They already have 75 yards on the ground on 10 rushes. Here's another one to Cook. And Cook fumbles, and the Broncos are right there. Singleton delivered the blow that knocked the ball out, and Denver has the recovery with Hufanga.
What a play for Denver. This is why they're so dominant on defense. They know how to make plays. They didn't get a ton of turnovers. They just stopped teams, but this is a teaching tape by Singleton on how to tackle and hit the ball out. Denver ball. Huge momentum shift.
And looking like McGovern's going into 10. He was shaken up while trying to dive in and get a recovery, but instead it went to the Broncos. Hufanga, and McLaughlin is ripping off a run of about 13, maybe 14.
He's the X factor. I had him and Mims as the two guys that you're going to have. Go ahead and watch this. He's going to come up and then find this crease. And it's a great job because you have a man in the hole, and the O-line just slides it out. I do think Denver has called a really good game. Buffalo as well, both coaches, but the ball's been on the ground too much for both teams now.
Yeah, it's been on the ground already 3 times. We're just 2 minutes into the second quarter. Here's play action. It's going to go right back. Oh, the ball's knocked down. Knocked down by Epinesa. He almost caught it.
Yeah. Bo looks downfield, goes to check it down. And that's 6 straight incompletions now for Bo after starting 5 for 5, even though one of them was a drop in the end zone.
Bo on his opening drive with that first 5 completions. He became first quarterback in 35 years with 5 runs and 5 completions on an opening drive of a playoff game, but it only led to 3 points with the drop touchdown by Humphrey. Now Harvey hits Bishop and keeps going. Nice piece of running by R.J. Harvey. And that's 12. So back-to-back big gash runs by Denver.
This is going to go right here. Miners has to seal his edge right there, and he turns it all the way back. That's why he's a first-team All-Pro, and they found something. That's the same run, just different directions. That's big.
Forsythe did a nice job, too. Bootleg time for Nix. Nix going to keep it, goes sideways, and he's held to 1 by Tre'Davious White.
And how about Tre'Davious White? I mean, that was outstanding. Cover your guy and then come off right at the right moment with the right leverage. He made the play of the game last week at the end, tipping that ball to Bishop to close out the game. What a story. He's playing outstanding football this year, and this secondary is really good with him, Benford, Johnson, Bishop.
Was so happy to be returning to his original franchise and gotten better as the year's gone on. 2nd and 9, and wide open, and a catch, and it's Mims. And Denver's operating inside the 20 again. Pickup of 27.
This is a seam route. Sean Payton goes to a core play. He runs seams up the middle and stops outside versus single high coverage, which means Cole Bishop's 1 safety in the middle. You put 2 guys up the seam. Big time throw and catch.
How big was that shift in momentum with the Bills threatening to drive and go up 14-3? Instead, it's going the other way now.
Absolute game changer, and it keeps you committed to the run.
And here they go on the ground. Bills are on them. That's again Shaq Thompson with a tackle for a loss.
Shaq shoots the hole. He's made a couple plays already today, and I feel like this is the one area Denver really could ill afford, as you see Shaq shoot the gap right away. If that's play action, you're going to get beat right behind you. But he sensed it, went for it. But when you get behind the chains, this is the #1 pass defense in the NFL, and James Cook is hoping that they can bail him out after the fumble.
Cook, the rushing king this year, but also had the most fumbles of any running back in the league in the regular season with 6. 2nd and 12. Nix thought about it, now takes off. And he slides about a yard or two, begins to slide a yard or two short of the first. But he's a threat with his feet. Goes for 11.
2 of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks with their legs as they extend plays, and we talked about it. I said Bo Nix has to run more in this game than he has in any other, and I think you saw the groans from the crowd. They were so excited, and then they're like, well, why'd you slide so early? Get a little closer.
They bring in an extra lineman, Frank Crum, on a 3rd and 1 snap coming at the 7. They fake the handoff to Harvey. They will sidearm pass. It's wide open to the lineman we just mentioned. Crum comes in as an eligible receiver. He reports and he receives and he runs it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
Watch Sean Payton's special. Here's Crum. He's going to act like he's blocking. I'm blocking, guys. No one cover me. I would never catch a touchdown. Yes, I will. Denver takes the lead.
Frank Crum, 2nd year out of Josh Allen's university, the University of Wyoming. Sean Payton digging into his bag of tricks.
He has called a great game.
And the extra point by Lutz is good. Big turnaround, and Broncos race down the field after the Cook fumble. Singleton with the orange crunch, and then Crum with the touchdown catch. Frank Crum, undrafted free agent by the Broncos a year ago, playing in his first playoff game, scores a touchdown right out of Laramie, Wyoming, Laramie High School, about 130 miles from here. Here's the return by Davis. And he's across the 30 to the 33. Do have a flag on that return. Carl Cheffers and crew trying to sort this out.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 74. Return team, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Called on Vandermark. And that will back up the Bills to near the 20. By the way, next Saturday, for the first time ever, UFC's biggest night is live on Paramount Plus, as Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett headline a star-studded card. Stream every fight free with your Paramount Plus subscription. Got a new center in for the Bills. Remember, we saw McGovern go in the tent. It's Alec Anderson. On 1st down, they're going up top. And they're going way down the field, and it's just out of reach for the flying Brandon Cooks. And let's go down to Trace.
Jim, you mentioned Alec Anderson in at center for Connor McGovern. We saw him get up slow after that James Cook fumble. He is currently in the locker room being evaluated for a concussion.
That is big, too, because if you bring in Anderson, which they're doing at center, he's played a lot of snaps, but he's usually the extra tackle, and they wanted to do that today and go big. That's going to hurt him a little bit for some of their packages.
Got all kinds of things, too, like how efficient will he be on the shotgun?
You're right.
Crowd noise contending with.
Exactly.
Snap
right.
counts.
Great point.
2nd and 10. They go back to Cook. Cook Gets near the first. He's about a half-yard shy. And Anderson was running down the field with him, throwing some blocks. Gain of 9.
His ability to jump cut is next level, and Anderson does a great job. Watch his block here. And then after that, you'll see Cook with a shift, bounce, shift, boom. His contact balance is great. Great vision. Impressive.
They bring in Gilliam, the fullback, lining up on a wing on the left, but now he'll get in position to help for the push.
Likes to go left.
And he does administer that push, and Allen has the first down.
That was a good push.
Actually gave Josh a little jolt.
Yeah, it did. And you notice we saw this last year. They always go left, right? We thought maybe we'd see a little more right this year, but this is the adjustment Josh has made. He went a gap out wider this time because they're shooting into that A gap right by the center and guard, so he gets out by the tackle tight end.
Josh Allen now with 3 conversions on either 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 here in the first half.
They're taking no chances on those 3rd and shorts.
There's Cook lowering his head, and he's got another 5 on first down.
Little concerning if you're Denver, because Buffalo is using that size, and they're getting that displacement and movement up front right now, and Vance knows he's going to have to allocate another guy down there. Look at that.
Vance Joseph talking about Buffalo. They do a great job staying on schedule, Tony.
Yes, I mean, Buffalo makes the games really short possession-wise because they can go 12 plays. They run the ball consistently. They take their shots every once in a while, but for the most part, they stay in phase.
Second down to pass play. They got Cook. There's no one over there. Cook past the 50 and then collides with Locke. And the Bills have another big gainer. Goes for 24.
This is just watch. He's going to end up coming out, slip outside, and someone from the inside has to get all the way out there, and they get picked. And at that point, Singleton's just too late. And that's another great play design by Joe Brady. And look at, boom! You could hear it up here when it happened.
Cook with his second play that's gone for 24 yards. Remember, their first snap was a running play to Jimbo. They call him for 24. Davis takes his place in the backfield as Allen in traffic, able to unload it, and he gets it to Knox. That's the first catch by a Buffalo tight end. They've got another first down. Goes for 12.
It's a great play design again, and now Allen had to step up in the pocket with people around him, but they're putting these guys in a bind. The stress, watch. Tight end right here is going to sneak underneath, and Knox does a good job, but Allen had to find him. But it's a run. No, it's a pass. Oh, now it's a cross. Denver's losing their guy with their vision.
Already down to the Denver 30.
Outside of the fumble, Buffalo has looked very efficient. That was huge for Denver.
On first down, Allen, they got to him. Nowhere to hide as 2 Bronco defenders take him down for the big loss near the 37-yard line. Loss of 7. First to get to him was Malcolm Roach.
He thinks it's man-to-man, but Hufanga right here is going to go out in zone. Good changeup. They ran zone, and they ran a man play where everyone's running across the field. Vance Joseph switched it up at a perfect time.
Roach got to him, and Zach Allen, the first-team All-Pro, helped out. 2nd and 17.
Now they know you're most likely passing, so I would throw a screen or something quick.
There you go, Tony. They do. Shakir, so good after the catch, and Zach Allen comes back.
They were so good last week when they got behind the chains on 2nd down. They'd get them into a 3rd and manageable where they could do different things. This one's a little further back, but watch out for this pass rush.
Yeah.
#1 sack team in the league.
Saw Zach Allen come back and bring down Shakir, hold him to 7. 3rd and 10, right at the 30. Allen throws, open, caught, and even watched to make sure he got the feet down. Cooks with another big catch. Surtain was on the coverage, and they got the first down.
Wow, they were double teaming him too. Surtain's playing inside. He's got safety help, but what a route by Cooks right there. I mean, that was high level, and Surtain's job is to stop the inside there because he had safety help, so it's a perfect play call versus that coverage.
What chemistry they have in such a short amount of time.
It's
in a
impressive.
month and a half. It really is. The big 36-yard connection on the winning drive last week, and that one on 3rd and 10 to extend. First down from the 15. Cook. As Anderson tries to help push him forward, but Greenlaw and Singleton join on a tackle.
You know how hard that is to get a 3rd and 10 in Denver.
And 2nd and 17.
Yeah, to get back. You're right.
Now you got a 2nd and 8. Ball's on the ground off the snap. Allen fields it. In trouble. And he just manages to get back to the line of scrimmage with Roach.
Guess who
again dragging him down.
He's been playing great, and they needed him today. One of the key parts of this. And the center that you talked about earlier, the snap on the road. They're trying to quick snap it. The clock is going down. Back up center. You said it, Jimmy.
The snap, he hit his own leg while trying to snap it back out of the gun. And now you got a 3rd and 9.
Got to be careful here. I know you want to score a touchdown, but the number one thing is to protect the ball.
Allen saw the trouble, got the flag down, shakes off a hit, goes to the end zone where it's dropped by Coleman. Almost unexplainable how you don't make that catch, but it's going to be against the Bills anyway.
Holding, number 64, offense. Penalties declined. 4th down.
Well, this would have been bad for Coleman. He drops that, and there was no penalty on there, and he's had some drops over his career. Coach is trying to be like, come on now. And what a play by Josh Allen to stand in with that pressure right at the end. I'm like, you got to throw the ball away here at some point. That was a dime. He did the same thing last year in the playoffs in the back of the end zone.
Remember that? He just shoved away one of the defenders trying to bring him down and got the pass right on the money, but it was dropped. Here's Prater. 8 years he spent as a Bronco. 33 yards. And the kick ties the game at 10.
There's been so much going on in this first half.
Every play. Whew. You're watching the divisional playoffs presented by Intuit. But it results in a field goal. Again, for the 2nd straight week, they're not having Prater kick off. He's been battling a quad injury, so they let the punter, Wisnowski, handle these chores. He pops it down to the 3, to McLaughlin. And Jalil was finally brought down near the 30-yard line. Let's go down to
NBC and NFL Network.
All right, well done by both left tackles.
Who are stalwarts. I mean, they're basically a wall. You don't even have to help protect them ever.
Oliver in the game for that Buffalo defense, and they go to the other side away from him with Nix rolling out. Pass wide of the mark for Sutton with 1 second before the 2-minute warning.
And this was just, it's behind him obviously, but I think it's because you see someone just inside, but he wanted Sutton to slow down in the hole. Sutton's running a deep outcut, and Bo's like a little safe with that ball.
Sutton, 2nd time he's been targeted, held without a catch.
See how much they're getting him on the move, using his legs today?
Almost every time.
I mean, 4 runs early to start off. I mean, he had more than 2 in a first drive in his career ever, all season on a first drive.
2nd and 10. Stepping up and throwing. Got the hook up to Ingram, but on the other side of the 2-minute break, they'll have a pivotal 3rd and 3 coming up. You're watching the AFC Divisional round on CBS.
The end, or if you give it back to them, then Buffalo gets what? The double up chance, right?
Yep, they deferred at the top, so would be a huge stop for them. Now Denver trying to thwart that. Do a little business of their own. As Nix again rolling out and throwing. He's got the first down. Pinpointed the pass, and they've got a chance to keep on moving as Mims caught that, but he got up limping.
Well, he did an outstanding job coming back to the ball. There wasn't really anything there. They caught him in zone trying to run a man play, big time play by Mims and Nix.
Clock running at 1:30. And they got hit. They got to him right when he tried to throw it. And just in case, it's picked up and run out by Milano, but that was clearly hand moving forward.
But I do think it's smart to let the play out, though, because if all of a sudden, if it wasn't.
Yeah, me too.
That's Russo putting the pressure on. Gene, the arms going forward.
Yes, Jim, even though the hand turns a little, I was thinking if he had control or not, but he had enough control.
Pass.
Enough control to have a forward pass.
128, please.
Yeah, it did look like it was like the first time we're like, uh-oh, it's starting to come, but he held on to it longer.
I've had that happen once where you had a loose ball in the hand pushed forward like that. So
what'd you call?
Good job. I called incomplete. We didn't have replay then either. So
smart.
2nd and 10. As Allen looks on, he's thrown for 81 yards and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Nix has thrown for 89 and a touchdown. Sidearm toss and finally caught. But Day has it, and he gets shoved down by Milano and others. Gain of 7. He got a 3rd down here.
Both these teams have great rack numbers, run after catch numbers, and Buffalo is actually one of the best teams at tackling and not allowing it. As you see, these have to be tough little plays.
Got another 3rd down. Approaching a minute to go.
Watch the legs.
It's open for him. There he goes. Got the first down, and finally White is there to cut off the angle. They got 56 seconds, a new set of downs, and 2 timeouts.
Oh, and he's hyped right now. He's like, this is my game, my stadium. And just watch. Bo's going to look. Doesn't see anything. He's a little bit moving too quick in the pocket right now, but he felt the pressure. But his legs have been on full display today, a la Josh Allen a little bit in the playoffs. And look at.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Come on.
Yeah.
God, I'm doing this.
He's rushed for 29 in this game, leading rusher for the Broncos. Handed off on the draw. Bidet got a flag down as he picked up 8. And it's going to be against Denver.
Holding, number 54, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Called on Forsythe. We go down to Trace.
And the Broncos are down a 2nd wide receiver today, already without Pat Bryant, who's out with a concussion. Troy Franklin dealing with a hamstring, questionable to return.
Boy, that is also huge. He's been talking about Franklin. He's the one who caught their 1 touchdown against the Bills last year in the playoffs, and he's had 4 years playing with Nix, 2 at Oregon, 2 here in Denver. They've got a special bond, and that penalty on Forsythe, the first flag on the Broncos today.
Yeah, Franklin, the breakout year, 2nd-year player. They use him everywhere, so that'll adjust some things.
First to 20. To Harvey. And he tries to split the defenders, Johnson and Benford, and a timeout's called by the Broncos after a 10-yard gain.
Bo Nix taking what the defense gives them. Zone coverage, check it down underneath, gaining yards, back in phase.
We'll take the break with the Broncos. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
2nd charge timeout, Buffalo, the 32nd timeout.
What do you, as far as game trends, Tony, and looking ahead in a scoring opportunity, it looks like for the Broncos before the intermission, but what do you see? Which direction is it going as far as strategy for these 2 head coaches?
You felt that out, what the game plan was coming in. You see what the other team was trying to do. What happened last year was Buffalo pressured Knicks at the highest rate of the season. They came out today with only a few pressures. They played some zones. They mixed it up, the coverages, but Knicks has been taking advantage of that, getting through progressions, checking it down, throwing it up the seam. Expect Buffalo to ramp up the pressure now as soon as you start to get comfortable thinking it's not coming. And then I would expect Denver to play more zone. They've gotten killed in man in this first half so far.
2nd and 10. Each team with a timeout remaining. Again, they get him rolling out and throwing. And almost hit by Lewis, who has had a fine first half.
This is a 3-man rush with a spy and leverage, and Cam Lewis, like you said, has had a fine first half, getting his hand on another ball. Sutton would have had 2 catches if somebody else wasn't playing safety today.
But Lewis is down. Again, Lewis getting the start instead of the rookie Jordan Hancock, who had come in during the game last week.
Yeah, he just wasn't quite ready yet for it, and Lewis has solidified that today.
Charged to timeout because of the injury, and Darnell Savage comes in for Lewis, who trotted off the field, jogged off the field, but went immediately up the ramp into the locker room. So they go Savage instead of Hancock on the defense of this 3rd and 10.
Yep, and here's Savage right here. Look at the pressure. Look, are they going to come after him or pop out?
One drops back. Pocket is clear, and Knicks has his target.
That's a big-time throw in a pressure situation in a playoff game, standing in the pocket, delivering another strike. He's thrown some great balls today.
15 yards to Mims. And a timeout is called by Denver. That is their last.
Just a little too soft. Epinesa gets chipped, and he runs with Ingram up top, which leaves a huge window for Knicks to see in. But that ball is right on the right shoulder. Another strike. I've been impressed with Bo Nix today. He's playing at a pretty high level right now, Jim.
Well, you also got to give Mims some credit. It's not like he catches a lot of passes. At 37 on the season, he's got 3 in the first half. You said he was one of your X factors along with McLaughlin.
Nice, you're exactly right. Those two have to create some plays that are a little outside what is normal, and they have so far.
32 seconds again, out of timeouts, Tone.
Got to get this ball out of bounds. You have an opportunity here up top, going up and breaking out.
So Broncos got out of that 1st and 20, and here they come in after Knicks. He just throws it toward Ingram because Ed Oliver broke up the whole play, wrecked the play.
He did, and we've been waiting to see. It takes a while coming back, but Ed Oliver's going to be right on the bottom of your screen here. And as soon as the snap happens, comes flying through on the screen pass, so technically he should be going. Shaq Thompson right there as well. I always felt like you could take a shot to the end zone here. If teams play sideline defense, they don't want you to get it out of bounds. I'd send someone right downfield if the safety's there to make the outcut.
On 2nd and 10, he's rolling, planting, going. Here's you go, Tony, to the end zone. They got it! What a call! It's Humphrey hauling it in for the Bronco touchdown.
Way to be prepared. And you said it, Jimmy. That's the situation. 99% of teams aren't. They're trying to get the field goal position, but you have your opportunity, and guess who they're attacking? Savage on the backside. He overruns it. There's no reason to. Big-time route and throw by Humphrey and Nix. What a play call.
Humphrey making amends as Savage was the only one in the area. Big props to you, Tony, for taking that shot on 2nd down. You said you always feel like you can do it. They did it, and they were rewarded. Lutz with the extra point. 7-point lead for Denver. We're back in 30 after this from State Farm. Darnell Savage, who got beat on that play. How big was the Cam Lewis injury? And we had documented that. Just 2 plays later, they were able to go after him, and Humphrey, who had the drop in the first quarter, this time secured it.
It's a matchup game. The coaches have to be prepared and the quarterbacks to recognize when the opportunity is for that matchup. Sean Payton blocks it up, rolls the quarterback to give him time to throw it all the way back across the field on a backup safety. Genius.
Lil Jordan Humphrey only had one touchdown in the regular season. He's got one here in the post. As Davis gets it to about the 30. Just looking back in that first quarter, the drop that would have been going to Pat Bryant in all likelihood. Maybe, who knows, maybe sun was an issue. Some might want to think that as he was looking back. Who knows? But hey, this time, man, there was no drop in sight.
The redemption catch. That'll give you a good emotional feeling right there. Savage knows he overplayed that. There was no reason to. Everyone was on the other side of the field. Stick with your side. Wow.
Yeah, Bills go gun here.
Slightly aggressive here.
Yeah. No kneel down. No timeouts. Tried to load it up. Better head to the sideline if he wants another play. Oh, he lost the football.
That's why you never do that.
It is picked up by the Broncos, and there's time on the clock. It's picked up by Key, the first team All-Pro special teamer who is in as an extra defensive back, and they have a chance to add 3 more. You've never liked, Tony, aggressiveness like that right before the half with no timeouts.
I've been saying it for years. It just hasn't happened in a really, really long time. But when you run a play, are you going to score a touchdown? No. But they could get the ball with a mistake and a fumble. It's just, it was a poor decision. Now you give them a chance at 3 points.
Yep, Lutz is out there. Lutz is out there for an attempt that'll be right at about 50, maybe 51.
Josh does not make many mistakes.
Well, remember, he had
games
6 straight playoff games. He had the all-time record without committing a turnover.
That ends.
That streak ends, and it may result in 3. 50 yards it is. Lutz to end the half with a Denver 10-point lead. 10 points in the final 22 seconds.
Cannot overestimate the emotional aspect of that right there for Josh going in there. That was a monster play. 2 turnovers for Denver.
Down to Tracy.
Well, Coach.
Because Buffalo matches in nickel. They stay small. I'd continue that.
Here's the Lutz kick to start the 3rd quarter. And it's Davis looking for an opening. It doesn't exist. And he's swarmed down at the 34. And Tracy caught up with Sean Payton earlier.
Sean, what a turn of events to end the half, but we know this Bills team never lets up. How do you make sure to keep your foot on the gas?
Well, look, they're a good second half team, but so are we. And we felt like coming in, the bye week doesn't help you in the first half, but it helps you in this half.
Thanks a lot.
Wow, interesting point there.
That is a great.
And word of caution, both of these teams have had massive comebacks during the season. As the first play goes to Cook, and look at that defense. Pounce on him right away, including P.J. Locke. In that first half, you look at what the quarterbacks did.
Well, I would argue Sean is definitely right about the second, but I'll also argue that 2 weeks does help. Because if you look at what Bo Nix just did there, you get a chance to come up with some of those cool plays that he had. You get to watch tape longer, figure them out more. Then all of a sudden you get this play to Crum. You get this one over here to play at the end of the half. You look situationally, it's been outstanding. A lot of pressure on Josh Allen on this drive now.
Who will take the snap from McGovern, the starter who has returned. And look at Cook. Line up right behind the right guard. Here they come, and they fumble again. They got to him from behind with Benito. And the recovery belongs to Denver.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
Nick Benito comes from behind and strip sacks Allen, and Roach, who's had several big plays, has a recovery.
Shakir's supposed to chip him, and he actually pushes him. You're supposed to push him back into. Shakir pushes him around the edge so Dawkins can't get there. And that allows Benito to go hit Allen, and that is a fumble, and this is why you can't get behind against this front. You had to stay committed to the run. They come out with these packages all at the line of scrimmage and completely the last 10 minutes. I mean, how many on the play clock? 3 minutes of real time in the game?
Well, how about 2 fumbles in 3 snaps going back to the last Buffalo play of the first half, and this the second play of the third quarter.
3 turnovers in 5 drives. You can't win a playoff game with that.
And it's crazy because Denver has not surprisingly been good in the takeaway margin this year. They were -3, but still had that 14-3 record. Here's a 1st and 10. Out of the backfield they go. Harvey. He is hit and goes on. Milano did not get him down. So gain all the way down to the 11-yard line, gain of 6.
The pressure is going to be ramped up. You're going to see pressure from the left side right here. We're blitzing Bishop, and Milano's one-on-one. And what a job by Harvey to extend the play. That is not easy to do, and Milano's out there storming it in on you. But keep having plays. This is not going to be like the first half. Buffalo will be coming after you on 75% of these plays.
Ball rests at the 11.
How big is this from a 7 to 3? 2-score game or 3 at home with your defense? Huge.
2nd and 4. Can they hold them to a field goal? Here is the tackle by Taron Johnson. Harvey picks up just a yard. He has such an oddity with all the sacks that Denver put up this year, best in the league for the 2nd straight year. They only had 14 takeaways. That was 4th worst in the league, but they've got 3 today.
It's shocking. Who gets 68 sacks?
That
always goes to turnovers usually when you're around the quarterback that much. But believe me, you'll take it if you saved it for today.
It doesn't add up, but it does today. Now here's a 3rd and 3, just outside the 10. McLaughlin's in the backfield. They toss it to him. McLaughlin. Bills are waiting for him, and he was able to slip through 1 tackle, but not a second, as Walker ends it in a loss of 1.
You saw the swarm coming in there. You can see Buffalo is laying it on the line. They leap off the tape at how they run after the football.
Denver's offense stays out. 4th and 4. Is this a draw? An offsides draw attempt, or is this another roll of the dice here?
I always thought Sean Payton was going to do something a little bit different today. Remember the stolen possession back in the day? He could be going for this, but I do think he'd try and draw him offsides. This is mostly a draw and offsides thing.
Yeah, it's not there.
You called it.
So they're able, the Bills defense,
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Big hold.
To buckle down and hold them to a field goal attempt. I mean, you look at what the Broncos have done on the other side. These 3 giveaways by Buffalo, but the Broncos, no giveaways, only 1 penalty called on them today and accepted, and no sacks allowed.
So no sacks allowed, 1 penalty, 0 giveaways. That's what we call a recipe for success in the playoffs. And that's really what you're trying to do. Do the fundamental things correct, and they are winning that battle by a large margin so far.
Sean Payton said to his team this week on Friday at practice, be brilliant at the basics. And there's Lutz, and that's just inside the right upright, and good. Perfect this year from inside 40. That was from 33. And it's a 13-point margin now for Denver. 4 minutes of actual clock time.
Well, Josh Allen, this is super rare. You said it earlier, 6 games. How many plays without a turnover?
427 snaps without a turnover.
And then
2 of his last 3. Davis, who had a 97-yard return for a touchdown this year against Houston. No chance. How about Key? Adding to his resume, fumble recovery, a couple special teams tackles.
I mean, he has 26 special teams tackles. That is off the charts. He's incredible.
Again, first team All-Pro, special teams. The fumbles by Buffalo. This was a game changer at the time. Up 7-3 and driving. And then right before the half, and then right out of the half, 2 plays.
Not time for him to be a hero yet. You feel it. That is a mental strain. He's been here before, but this is a lot right now. Stick with Cook. Don't just put it on his shoulders yet. It's not time. It's still a 2-possession game.
So 13 points off the turnovers, the difference in the game right now. First down, it comes over, and it's through the hands of Cook. I mean, they're running the ball effectively with Cook already.
Well, I didn't love shotgun there.
11 for 57. They're they're at 98 yards as a team, which is more than the Broncos average giving up a game. Second best rush defense.
It's been the ball. I mean, the only reason they've gotten stopped literally has been the ball. I mean, 5 possessions, 3 turnovers, that ends it. The other 2 possessions they finished with holding on to the ball. They had 10 points, but just get back under center a little bit, throw a screen. These guys tee off on everybody, especially when you give them a lead.
Shotgun instead. He's got time. Flips it. Got it. Kincaid's first catch. And he adds some rack yardage to it. And the Bills pick up a first down.
Yep, and like I said, it's Josh Allen time. Don't go to Cook. You got to go to Allen.
All right.
Just go ahead and watch this pocket. He's going to move over here, up, everything. But at the end of it, the ball's going to come right back to Kincaid, who does a great job extending. Or actually the opposite side coming across. But that was a monster play because it calms you down just a little bit. Now you can get back to Cook. Stick with him.
It's the longest pass play of the game so far for Buffalo. Went for 25.
Boy, did they need that.
They do go back to Cook. And Cook waits for something to open up. Not much there. Singleton, who was the one who knocked it loose from Cook in that first half. In on that tackle.
Yeah, that was the biggest play from this defense until Bonito's right there. And second down play, they were in base there. They're going to go back to their packages where they put all their smaller people on the field and let these guys go up front.
2nd and 8. He's got an open man. Kincaid again. And he bounces around with Moss and Singleton. He's a yard short. 3rd and 1. And you know the
Josh Allen, this is he has to do his watch. He's going to look, and then he's going to throw it there, and then boom, there, then back to there, moving the defense. Special to get him in this situation.
There they go, pushing the head, and it looks like he's got the first, which will be the 4th time. It is a first, 4th time that has worked in 4 attempts.
Yeah, Josh Allen, 12 rushes today. Bo Nix, 8 committed runs by the Broncos for their quarterback. This is more him scrambling and doing tush push.
See this graphic here. They were down 21 to New England on the road and won.
That's right.
They were down 15 at home against Baltimore week 1 with 6 minutes to go and won. They also were down double digits to Cincinnati in the second half and won. 1st and 10. Again. Oh, what a hit by Hufanga on Knox, who somehow held on for an 8-yard gain.
Well, he's going to be chipping, helping out, and then Hufanga. Oh! Fortunate, though. I mean, that is a hit. That's why they went and got him and Greenlaw, because they felt like they didn't have these guys to hit Buffalo last year in that playoff game. Got ran all over. They needed some physical toughness, a little more. They got it.
Vance Joseph says when he comes to the party, talking about Hufanga, his presence is felt. Look at Cook making his presence felt as he had to reclutch the football with Locke trying to strip it away from him. A rush of 11, and again a Buffalo first down.
You're going to get the guard. He's going to come over and pull inside, and Cook just feels it and takes off like a dart. And this is the formation I want them to be in a little bit more, that I formation under center. It gets Denver in base and calms down all the blitzing and the pass rushing. Then you can take your shots after running it.
Joseph not happy with that. Cook takes a breather. He's got 13 carries, 70 yards. In the red zone.
Pressure.
Pass away, and 4th catch of the game for Shakir. Goes for 9.
Big time tackle by Riley Moss. This is all out pressure. They're coming after him, so you have the whole field to cover, and Riley Moss saves a touchdown by extending out and tackling Shakir.
Yeah, he had Knox down there ready to throw a block on Surtain. And now Buffalo comes to the line. Cook returns.
If you had a short yardage one, 2nd down would be a nice one to go use the fake tush push and toss it or something.
Well, it's just 2nd and 1. I saw Keon Coleman is in here. Kincaid on a wing, quick toss. It's Coleman, sidesteps the defender and slides in for the touchdown. Keon Coleman had a big catch last week at Jacksonville, and today he scores on a desperately needed drive for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he had the drop earlier, even though it was a penalty. Double clutch this, but this was no bigger play to extend and score. That is a touchdown, and boy, did he need that. That's why you stay in it all year mentally. You get in the doghouse a little bit, but you never know when your opportunity's coming, and nothing was bigger for Buffalo today than that.
So Prater with the extra point. And the kick is good. Make it a 6-point lead now for Denver. Allen hit his last 5 passes on that drive.
What a game.
And Keon Coleman delivers a touch. Some amazing comebacks. Denver oftentimes fell behind, so they technically had 12 comeback wins this year, an NFL record. And of course, they had a couple of them that were, we saw in Philadelphia, they came down 14 down in the 4th quarter to beat the Eagles. And then here they scored 33 points in the 4th quarter against the Giants in a crazy comeback. So both of these teams know how to respond.
No question. They're battle tested. I think Denver really has shown, like, okay, Bo Nix is that guy. He can go down and do it. We saw Josh Allen just take him down the field there. But this is the real test. There's 2 nerves in these playoff games like this. The first one's to start the game and how you handle that. He's already shown that he's been able to handle that. The second one is in the 4th quarter as this game continues to get close, and how you handle that with your season always right on the line. And it's like, he showed the first one. Now he's got an opportunity to do number 2.
There's going to be a lot of nerves in that final quarter.
You're not kidding.
For these teams and their fan bases.
Yes.
Trust me.
Coming after him now, I'm telling you, the second half.
Pass incomplete. The pressure influenced that one.
We said it before the end of the first.
Let's go down to Trace.
Jim, you see safety Cam Lewis back out there. He was dealing with cramping at the end of that first half, got an IV, but the altitude is a real thing here. Buffalo this week didn't want to make a big deal of it, but the players did use an altitude chamber. They hydrated as much as possible, and I can tell you this Bills offensive line has been sucking oxygen all game. James Cook as well. It's something to watch as they get deeper into this game.
Okay, we'll be looking for that. Thank you, Trace. Lewis had a good first half and missed that touchdown before the intermission because he was injured. There's Milano on Harvey, and Bishop comes over to assist, and they hold him to about 5.
Yeah, to Tracy's point, though, I think it shows right now you got to substitute a little bit here and there, and you got to have your backups come in and play well. Savage didn't get it done when Cam Lewis went out, but they're still playing really hard. This drive, this is it, Bo, right here, these 3rd downs. He did an incredible job at the end of the first half.
Again,
but you got to keep doing it.
They lost Pat Bryant on the first drive, out with a concussion, and now it's confirmed that Troy Franklin hamstring will not return. So they're down 2 important players on the outside.
Which is why I'm going to play him man-to-man and play tight coverage, drop one of these safeties in, him or him.
On 3rd and 5, Bills rush 4, pass is intercepted. Oh, look at one of the linemen just jump up and take it out of the air.
It's Walker.
Yeah, Walker, the rookie.
This is going to be fake pressure from the left. And this is why I talk about the nerves as the game. And then they come from the right side. Fake from the left, come from the right, and you think someone's coming, so you got to throw it, and you didn't have to. That's that tension that builds up inside of you that Bo has handled so well today. There's no one around him. You don't need to throw this ball right now.
There wasn't a whole lot there.
2 people.
Right, Epinesa had advantage for that football on Ingram. Had it gotten past Walker. So look how fast this thing has turned.
That is the challenge at the quarterback position, is just handling your emotions, the mental state. But there's a lot of game left. Reset.
Taken over at the 36. Little pass behind the line of scrimmage, and the Broncos are wise to it. McMillan made the play on Shakir, who caught 7 passes last week behind the line of scrimmage and 12 overall. They were effective. This one wasn't.
They were, because that team plays more vision on the quarterbacks, zone coverage. These guys, a lot more man up tight on you. Going to be tougher.
You were talking nerves and how you'd have to see it and how it was handled right before that interception was thrown.
Yeah, you're right. And Josh Allen went through him when he was younger too. And now all of a sudden you're seeing him be the poised veteran after he had 2 turnovers of his own. You got to be able to put that aside and come back.
2nd and 14. Deep ball down the field, and he is intercepted by Locke. Locke jumps right in front of the receiver and takes it right back for the Denver Broncos. He was at 200 consecutive passes in the postseason without being intercepted before this throw.
Josh Allen tries to pump fake. No, back to Denver.
Time, 3 of those turnovers committed by Buffalo, as Allen was trying to hit Curtis Samuel inside the 10-yard line. There's play action with Nix throwing it in the direction of Troutman, incomplete.
And here's the adjustment. Buffalo's blitzing off the edge, but here's the interception. Hufanga did a great job of not biting on the play fakes, and that made Josh Allen have to throw it inside, and that's why Locke was able to come flying in and intercept that. I give the credit for Hufanga on that one, but Josh Allen's got to calm his stuff right now. He's trying to get too much too quick. Right?
Locke did not become a starter until December 21st when Brandon Jones went out for the season with an injury. Here's Bishop running over laterally to make the tackle at the 40-yard line. McLaughlin held to a short gain, and now it's 3rd down on the way for Denver.
And this is where Sean Payton needs to be prepared. They're coming after him on every play, whether it's a run or pass. And I think right now you've got to help the quarterback. Just run a double slant. Throw something that's like, hey, if they get down in here, take a shot downfield. But I wouldn't want him to progress and read this out. This is going to be the toughest look he's seen all day.
3rd and 8. Pass over to Mims. Slips past the tackler and goes all the way down to the Buffalo 41 before Lewis is able to end it, but 19 yards for number 19, Marvin Mims.
This is going to be the toughest read, and Sean Payton did it. Watch this. You're guarding the back. You're going to get all this pressure from over here. So let's see if Bishop can get there. No. You free released him to a 4-man side. Genius play call.
Boy, Mims.
He's pointing to Sean. He's like, nice job. You called it. He's like, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, that was
before.
That was a 3rd and 8.
And you didn't make him have to do something special. You said, just throw it to the back here.
Now at the Bills 41. Go back up the middle, and Harvey restricted for only a yard. Russo on him right away. Hey, light your torch and be a part of this historic moment as Survivor returns for a milestone 50th season. Season premiere Wednesday, February 25th on CBS. 50th season. The last time the Broncos hosted a playoff game was the AFC Championship game on their way to winning Super Bowl 50 in Santa Clara, same site of this year's Super Bowl 60. Been 10 years since they had a home game postseason, and they lead by 6 late 3rd.
Another pressure.
Bosa was coming after him, and that pass wide of the mark coming for Prentice.
That's why you got to be prepared. Like at the end of the half, we talked about, I'm like, Buffalo got hurt and all these other things with the run going through, and you're going to find, here comes Milano. It's going to create a free rusher because they only have 5 linemen blocking here, and I don't like that call, knowing that this team's coming after you pretty consistently.
3rd and 9, coming off a 3rd and 8 conversion a moment ago.
How much do you got? How many cool trick plays do you got, Sean Payton? I think at some point it's going to be on Bo Nix right here. Stand in and deliver. Watch out for him coming. Oh, other side, overload.
And Bosa backs off also as Nix in traffic just flings it incomplete. Milano was the first one in the backfield, and there weren't a lot of options there for Bo.
I mean, they are emptying the bucket with their pressures, and it's actually been pretty successful. And Bo does a great job sliding the protection, but what happened is Bidet just missed his block up the middle.
Got an interesting decision coming up here. Again, in this thin air, 58 yards is not a big deal, which could give you the 2-score lead, but they're going to go punt here.
Wow.
And Lutz has the leg. 58 yards it would be had they gone that way with the field goal attempt on 4th and 9.
Heads up for a fake. Alert fake, Jim. Tell everybody fake, fake, fake.
Crawshaw, the punter. Rookie from the University of Florida. It's a true punt. End over end. And Shakir secures it near the 15. 26-yard
Give
punt.
Buffalo credit. You can only run the fake with the correct look. They were not. They were prepared for it. Couldn't run it.
Just above you see Shanahan and Odoms. It was Josh Allen, just a student and student athlete at the University of Wyoming, took in the game from the upper deck. Of course, you had Elway as the general manager in the building, and had Brady and Manning on the field.
This is what they're in. This is how they're going to do this. Under center. You're right, Jim. What a great story about being there for that game. Were you there for that game?
I was here for that game. And
what a call.
Yeah, it was the 4th time that Peyton and Tom met in an AFC championship game. Of course, it was Peyton's last ride on his way to win in his last game. There he was before the game having a word with Josh Allen. Peyton's son Marshall's a big Josh Allen fan, and he brought his son to the occasion here.
Under center. They've averaged almost double the yards per play under center today. Keep with it.
Cook got 7 on 1st down. He's got about 2.5 with this one. And guess what's coming up on 3rd down foot?
Well, it's almost like during the season they don't do this every time. To me, you do it when the season's on the line, like playoff games and everything happens. Now Josh Allen's got that moment. It's like, let's not mess around and let them do something. Get under center, do the tush push.
And you bring in Gilliam for the occasion.
Yeah,
we'll shift back.
Best pusher we've seen today.
4 for 4 so far on these close range situations, and that one again without trouble.
Your back's going to hurt tomorrow, Josh. He's got a very good strike. Gilliam on pushing you in the back. It moves him a full yard by himself.
Well, again, what else can hurt? I mean, everything does already.
He's already like,
don't know the difference. So now 5 for 5 on those conversions.
Look at, he's getting high five. Listen, you are pushing and hurting your teammate great. Keep it up.
1st and 10 inside the last minute of the 3rd quarter.
Under center, smart.
You've been calling for that and running it with Cook.
Yes. You'll have your chance to take your shot at some.
And that's what they do with Cook. Cutting outside and picking up a good gain for 13 and another first.
The game's not rocket science. It's literally leverage, angles, and personnel-driven matchups, right? And we can actually push on these guys with our size. But his vision, Cook's vision, right? He can bounce it right, left, middle. He's gone backside. That hurt him. Now this game is going outside. So smart.
Remember on Thanksgiving Sunday at Pittsburgh how many times he darted outside for big gains over and over again?
Yes, and if you go look as we're going to the 4th here, last year he would cut that backside on that same run. So Denver adjusted to stop the backside cutback. Well, then he adjusts there.
Tony, we're heading to the 4th with a spot in the AFC Championship game at stake.
Ooh, here we go, Jim.
Mike Arnold, our decorated director, gymnast Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Gene Steratore. Who's going to the AFC Championship game? Start the final quarter with a 1st down for Buffalo. And that pass a little too low for Knox. And 4th quarter, what success both of these quarterbacks have had this year. Amazing, amazing stuff.
Yeah, they both, I mean, you see the same 7-game winning drives, most in franchise history. They've had a few good quarterbacks here, Jim.
Yeah, they did.
You know, a guy named Elway.
Yeah, I remember him.
Manning, and then Allen, 18 total touchdowns. That's what he does. He puts his team on his back. It's the 4th quarter. Is he going to put the cape on?
2nd and 10. Quick pass. Shakir splits the defenders and is off and running. Shakir makes another one miss. And look at Shakir make a gigantic play. It's going to be the biggest pass play of the game by yardage, 46 yards, and he went right between 2 Broncos after the catch.
This is where he's got to bounce out or take the run. He decides to go toward the run. And Hufanga, first time, takes a bad angle, and Shakir who's as good at run after catch as anybody. You talked about last week. He shows up again today in huge fashion in a huge situation.
6 catches now, 72 yards. He's been targeted 18 times in the postseason. All 18 have been completed as Cook comes back into the lineup. And he's down to about the 13. This altitude, as Tracy's reported, a lot of players running back to the bench, getting some oxygen. Cook is one of those.
They're getting prepared for it. You can see, I mean, that's why you've seen Cook have to come in and out a little bit more. And look at that, targets, receptions. Come on. That's unheard of right there. You don't catch every ball that's thrown to you.
Shakir and Samuel in the game.
I love it. They're staying under center. Denver's got to get these guys down in here. There you go.
2nd and 7. Rolling out and past a little too much heat and over the top of Samuel. Now you got a 3rd and 7.
This could have been a touchdown. He snapped it a little early and he throws it a little bit too fast. With a little more touch, it's a touchdown.
Kincaid comes into the huddle. Here's Allen. Drop it back, throwing it to the end zone, and it is hauled in. Kincaid, just as he did a week ago, with the touchdown grab, and the Bills are a Prater extra point away from taking the lead.
Well, in my notes, critical situations. In the red zone, the ball's going to Kincaid. And Josh Allen throws a perfect level 2 ball where only his guy can catch it at the high point, and boy, did Kincaid do a great job there.
Very similar to what they did last week, a similar looking play for a touchdown that worked between those two. And now Prater. And the comeback from 13 down. Now the lead belongs to Buffalo. The Mountain Time Zone connection. Quarterback from Wyoming to a tight end from Utah, set up from Allen to a Boise State receiver, Shakir. They're used to altitude, and they've got the lead.
Come the mental hurdle that happens when you turn the ball over for a quarterback in the postseason. You got to come back. He just did it. Now it's Bo Nix's turn.
Okay, the Wisnowski kick comes down to the 5. Bade trying to return it. Gilliam missed him, and they're able to finish it with Savage. A plus from magnificent Torrey Pines.
It'll be fun to watch you do that.
Looking forward to the West Coast swing, but in the meantime, can't wait to see how this 4th quarter and next week unfolds. 1st and 10. And right away, the stick applied by Milano on Harvey.
And they've been pressuring so much. It's a good job by Sean McDermott not to pressure here, and really good job by Bo Nix. Nothing was available, just 3-man route and just get the ball out.
So Nix, really a brief huddle, if any at all. Back to the line on 2nd and 10. They run it, and Harvey has Bosa on him. You know, the Bills are now leading, and they're -3 in the turnover margin today. Now, why is that significant? Wait till you see this one that's been dug up. All time in the history of the NFL postseason, road teams in the playoffs, -3 or worse turnover differential, 1 in 85. The only team to ever win with that, the Raiders in '77 against the Colts. The old ghost to the post Stabler to Dave Casper. Remember it well. Now 3rd and 7. No catches so far for Sutton, who's their 3rd down specialist on most occasions. They're not looking his way. That pass is deflected. And the Buffalo defense is going to take him off the field in a hurry after 3 plays.
They send pressure, 6-man pressure again up front. And the 2nd tip ball today by Epinesa. Huge. I don't think that would have gotten the 1st down anyway. Taron Johnson was covering on the outside on the out route. That's where we talk about Denver's ability to come back. They've done it all year, battle tested. This is those nerves right now.
Speaking of nerves, Hardman is back deep. He fielded 2 punts this year, fumbled one of them. Crawshaw to send it his way. Oh, he just slaughtered this kick. I mean, it flies 5 yards deep into the end zone. 65, net of 45. Buffalo possesses the football and the lead. And you're watching the divisional playoffs presented by Intuit TurboTax. Bill started at 20. Allen zings it. Got him. 15-yard pickup on the pass play to Kincaid.
That was a seed on another level 2 ball. He's got to throw it over the inside. Gets it over Tillman, 92, and he beats Hufanga to the ball in a zone defense, and he's getting into that rhythm right now. You got to disrupt it, Denver. I would come after him. Start playing man.
Look how Buffalo's moved the football since 6:50 was remaining in the third quarter. And remember, they bypassed on about the Broncos the 58-yard field goal, which could have given them a 2-score lead. Here goes Cook, and Cook is over 100 yards with that run of 13.
This is the same run we talked about. He bounced out earlier last year. They had a ton of yards on it. He has a 3-way go. He can go up here, break that way, outside. This time he goes up, bounces out, and then comes all the way back. His vision, next level.
And that wild card victory over Denver last year, Cook ran for 120 and a touchdown. They ran for 210 as a team, which was some 70 yards more than anyone else had all season last year against the Broncos, and they're doing it again today. Here's Allen. Dump off pass. It's Knox. Then he got another chunk play for 13. Running away from Jonah Ellis.
This is the same play call they're going to run. But right here, he's not going to give him the ball. So you're like, I got to come off this block and go make the play. They put you in a bind. Run the same play, but now that guy's got to recognize it's not the same play. Really difficult to handle. Good job by Joe Brady.
3 straight plays of 10 plus. As we move inside, 10 minutes to go.
Now they're going down. 5-man rush. This is who they are. Man-to-man everywhere else.
Back to Cook on first down. Big opening for him. And he gets tripped up a little bit after 7 more. This is working, Tony. Had been calling for taking the snap under center, giving the football to Cook.
It just reminds me of the playoff game last year. I believe it was Baltimore when they were trailing, and then all of a sudden they got under center and ran the ball and scored 2 times. And then all of a sudden you could play action and it just opened things up. And then the shotgun, Denver wants you to live in shotgun. They don't want you to be under center. Smart by them. And they're getting back to that duo run, I call it, where you can go up and go out, in, come back, either way.
2nd and 4. Go outside with it on the toss, and he's near the first. What did Joe Brady tell us this week? Talking about Cook, who last week was held to just 46 yards by the Jaguars. He said he's been in a foul mood all week long.
You knew he was going to run hard. Outside of that fumble, he's played an outstanding football game, and Joe Brady has called it at a high level. And to take the pressure off the quarterback and be able to do that on the road in this environment, huge.
They're getting a replay assist here. They had already moved the chains. Gene, they had initially given them a first down, and now they've moved it back, the chains, for a 3rd and a foot.
Yes, because they looked real quick and saw the knee down and the ball short. Quick job by replay assist.
Number 70 reports is eligible. 70 is eligible.
Do they have to reset the play clock then?
No, he'll keep it. No, he's going to bump it to 25 because they had administrative stoppage. Yes.
So they bring in the extra lineman, Anderson.
The pusher, Gilliam.
5 for 5 so far on this play. And look at Gilliam. He's making a difference. And again, Josh gets a couple of more tacked on. First down, Bills.
First time we've seen him go right. Denver loaded up on the left with more guys this time, so good adjustment.
Well, the Bills brought in Anderson, which gave them 1,900 pounds of beef on the line.
That's a lot of beef. That's where the one area that was the only concern, just a tough matchup for Denver, just from the size perspective. And if they could have slowed the run down, that would have been to their advantage. But right now, Buffalo eating the clock, ticking away with the lead.
6 plays, 52 yards since the touchback, and beginning the drive back at the 20. On first down, he looks left, now comes to the right side, and Davis catches it, but Sternad is the one who applies the quick stick, limits the play.
So much eye candy there. Handoff to a screen to a shot play. That's the play they scored the touchdown on against Jacksonville last week. It's a core play of theirs. Good job by Josh getting through the progression and managing it. Denver's got to win this down. They got to get him in 3rd and long.
It's a 2nd and 10. Cook is out. Davis is in. Allen still has it. Cuts back to the middle, and he got. Oh, the ball is out again.
I didn't hear a whistle. I think that could be real.
He was, for some reason, he was trying to extend the football. Nowhere near the sticks, and they say Buffalo football.
I didn't hear a whistle there. Gene, did you hear one?
I didn't hear a whistle. It felt like forward progress to me, guys.
Let's listen to it right here.
Yeah, there wasn't a whistle there. I mean, it would have been close if Denver recovered whether he was on the ground or not.
You still can rule that progress there without the whistle. And to me, on that replay, you can see Josh Allen standing still there for a couple counts before being knocked backwards. I think progress is the right call on the play.
Nice, Gino.
But in the end, you got Kincaid and you got Brown. It's like they jointly fell on it. But Locke, who had that interception in the 3rd quarter, is getting some attention.
That was a key down. Like I said, you don't want to be in 3rd and long. What do they use? Josh Allen's legs. Expect the possibility of it again.
We'll see that neck is not in for this 3rd down play.
Which means spread them out. See if you got the look. They're not going to let you run. He wanted to run. Now all of a sudden they're going to have to throw the football. Watch Kincaid one-on-one at the top. Wow.
Allen has to do it, and he does. They had loaded up the left side, flooded the left side with all those receivers, and he went the other way behind Spencer Brown's big block, and he gets 9 and a first. Look at Brown.
You just said it. Watch this. There's so many guys in here you can't run up the middle. They crack down and pull the tackle. They have not used this play in a long, long time. And what a time to pull it out. I didn't think they could run it based on the numbers. Joe Brady again, Josh Allen's legs, key situations.
And now Allen goes back under center with under 6 minutes to go. 1st and 10. They've rushed for more yards than anyone has all season long against Denver, the 2nd best in the league against the run. And here comes Cook, challenging. And he's held to 1. I'll give you a situation here, Tony. You're inside 6 minutes. If you score a touchdown here, if you're Buffalo, you go up 7. You could go for 2, and if you were successful, you have suddenly a 2-score lead with somewhere around 5 minutes to go.
I would do it. You have one of the best quarterbacks in those situations in Josh Allen. You have his legs to deal with. I think you're going to get all-out pressure. You know what you're getting by the defense. They just used the play on the last one. That would have been a great play, but I would go for 2. Great call, Jim.
Of course, if you kick the PAT, you got an 8-point lead, but they still got to get it there with a 2nd and 10, 5-minute mark. Over to Samuel, and he is met right away by Hufanga. And this is going to be a 3rd and semi-long. 3rd and 8. This drive's taken now 7 minutes. It's their 3rd drive of the afternoon that's lasted longer than 7 minutes.
No designed run here. It's too far for that. However, watch him scrambling, extending the play. If it's not there, I'd look for Kincaid on the left. If this is one-on-one, I'm throwing him the ball. If not, then he might use his legs.
Need to get to the 4 for a 1st. Quick pass. It's on the ground. Shakir, did he pick it up cleanly? Well, the Bills think he did. It looked like the Broncos gave up on the play, but it's incomplete. It's incomplete.
It looks like Shakir knows.
An incomplete pass. 4th down.
Yeah, Denver knew it right away, and out comes the field goal unit. Broncos saw it hop into the arms of Shakir.
Well, watch. It's a great job by Cooper going flying out. Otherwise, this would have been a possible touchdown. He takes off from, instead of blitzing, he reads it right away. And that is definitely, that hit the ground for sure. But Cooper saves the day right there.
First incompletion on a target to Shakir in 2 weeks.
They played that a little safe there. Did you see that?
Yep.
Throwing a screen
really
pass.
did. Prater now, the 41-year-old who spent a good chunk of his career right here kicking in this stadium, has this from 31, and the kick is good with 4:11 to go. And the lead is 27-23.
It's a big hold for Denver right there.
Fourth quarter down in Jacksonville. There were more last week. How about this? More fourth quarter lead changes, 12 across all the games, and more last 3-minute winning drives, 4 of them, than in the history of the NFL playoffs through the entirety of one playoff year. It was just the wild card weekend.
It was amazing.
We already had a lead change at the start of this quarter, and there's the return by McLaughlin to the 27-yard line. Now you've got 4 minutes to go, Tony, and you're Bo Nix, and this is your moment.
This is your opportunity. I mean, as a kid, you grew up hoping for this chance, and you get to go against Josh Allen. You're at home. He's done it all year. He's been battle tested. He's been able to do it. You just got to believe in that right now. He's played it a little safe recently. It's almost like you hope someone else kind of makes a play, even though he got off to that incredible start. Now, forget about everything else. It's your time. Go do it, Bo.
He's thrown for 175 yards, completed 50%, 16 of 32, with a touchdown and that interception in the third quarter. Bosa coming after him. He ran it out too far. Nick steps up and throws, and with the feet down, officials say yes, and guess what? Cortland Sutton has his first catch, and it doesn't come until 56 minutes into the game. The All-Pro, the Pro Bowler.
Wow.
Sutton.
That's an incredible catch. And he was open a little earlier, but Bo was moving. And that's a huge drive starter right there. Gets you in phase, and now the emotions change.
Another quick pass, and that's only for about 2 yards to Atkins. Let's go to Trace.
Jim, we saw Bill's defensive tackle Ed Oliver return from that biceps injury. Also had knee surgery. He has not played, though, in several drives. He's on the sideline right now with his helmet off. It is a knee injury. He's questionable to return.
Oh, boy. It was just, what, 3 weeks ago they scoped the knee. That's not what put him on IR. Again, it was the torn pec, but they cleaned out the knee. And now it looks like he's out for the remainder of this. Just 3:25 to go. And they could have used him.
Coming after him.
Pass. Dumped off. Mims. Bishop brings him down for a loss.
If Buffalo wins this game, it's going to be the adjustment in the second half by Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich to come after him with pressure. It was successful in the playoffs last year. You'll see guys coming right at him, and they're getting guys coming free.
That ball was tipped also.
Yes, and that's the key. If someone comes free, the ball's got to come out, so it's easier to get
Russo
a tackle when you're out there. And Russo's always done that.
How about Epinesa and
2 of them?
Yeah, and Russo.
They completed another one earlier that was actually tipped twice on one play.
Now it's 3rd and 11, Tony.
And now you got all this stuff. You got to watch all these guys. Who's coming, who's not. Can you get the protection right, Bo?
They bring 4. Guns it down the middle. Look, wide open is Sutton. Coming to life on this drive. Just in time, and with 2.5 to go, the Broncos are operating now on the Buffalo 40. Gain of 23.
Big time throw in a clutch situation. Bo Nix standing in there. That was impressive.
That was on a 3rd and 11.
Against the #1 pass defense in the National Football League, who decided not to pressure. They dropped everyone out, and Bo has eaten them alive when they've done that.
Forsythe, the center, shaken up, and we had mentioned earlier the Sutton is their big target on 3rd down all year, all career, and that was a massively important 3rd down catch for the first down. And we've got the State Farm post-game show coming up after this one. JB and all the crew with the game recap. Look ahead to the other divisional games coming up on the State Farm post-game show. Of course, there's Coach Cowher in that studio 20 years ago. He brought his Steelers here for the AFC Championship game, and they beat them. They won on this field on their way to winning the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 40.
Not an easy place to go in and win. And you see, this is actually pretty big. I feel like Forsythe going out. Now you're going to be on your third center, and if I'm Buffalo, guess where I'm attacking? Right at the center where the ball is.
It's going to be Mustipher who's going to come in here. We've already seen him this year. He's an experienced player and a former Bronco. We saw him get some action in week 18. By the way, they moved the spot to the 38. And they let it go to the 2-minute mark. Oh boy.
So many permutations, situations. Oh my gosh, this is awesome.
It was destined, wasn't it?
Yep.
Destined to go down to the wire in Denver. 2 minutes to go. 1st and 10, Broncos down 4. At the 38 of the Bills.
Extra lineman in, making all the big people look in there. He's been throwing it out of this recently.
Makes the handoff to Harvey, and now, like he likes to do, roll right and just flings it out of bounds.
Buffalo finally ran man-to-man robber coverage, which helped at the end of the first half. They've taken a little while. Pressure's helped, and this coverage has too. And Joey Bosa splits 2, maybe even 3 guys and disrupts the play. And that's why they got Joey Bosa this offseason, Jim. For this time of the year, he's shown up today a few times, and telling you that's going to be needed if they're going to win this game.
What does he have on his call sheet, Sean Payton?
It's going to come down to Bo at this point, right? He's going to call it, and Bo's going to have to create something. I think all your cool plays are gone.
2nd and 10. Here's Nix, and there's Sutton, and he's pushed back by Lewis. And now you're going to have about 3rd and 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, and this is actually, I mean, it's 4-down territory. I'm almost positive they're going for it. You talk about other things, but there's no way. This is 4-down territory, so you don't have to. Just no sacks as a quarterback. If you extend the play, you could still throw it away. It doesn't matter, but you could run the ball here if you get the right look.
They've had pressure, but they have not sacked him once in this game.
Last time they were all up in here, they backed out. I wouldn't expect that here.
This time they were coming. Nix gonna run with it. He's got the first down, and he slides to about the 25-yard line with a minute to go. Mustipher, the backup center, helped throw a big block here for him.
This was almost the exact same play. You saw Josh Allen on the exact same distance earlier. They're basically saying if you put everyone up in the middle of the line here, you're going to block down, and the quarterback's going to run out wide. And it's just a slightly different formation. But good job right there being prepared for this mug-up look inside.
Timeout called here by the Broncos. 61 seconds left in this one. And again, the State Farm postgame show coming up after the game. A lot to talk about. Oh my goodness. Tre'Davious White, who deflected that pass at the end of the game last week that led to the pick by Bishop that clinched the game. He's out.
Wow, that's huge because Cam Lewis is playing safety.
Dane Jackson comes in, been little used. They just brought him back a couple of weeks ago.
Hasn't played a ton today. Now it's like go out there and save our season.
1st and 10.
They're going after him.
Going for the end zone, over the shoulder. Oh, Mims hauls it in. 26 yards to Marvin Mims, who was injured as he was falling to the ground after making the over-the-shoulder catch.
Watch this. It's an incredible throw. Bo Nix has done it all year. And Mims, we got to look at the feet. We got to go back. I was about to say, I think it's a touchdown.
We got to bring in Gene Steratore just to confirm it.
Yeah, I'm looking. The left foot was down when I think he possesses it initially there. Then you got the right foot. To me, guys, if he survives the ground there as he's falling, you've got a touchdown. I don't see anything to overturn it.
Further injury inside of 2 minutes due to the score.
And what? Not only a big-time throw and a big-time catch from Mims, who's one of our X factors in this game, but as soon as Dante Jackson comes in, one play, Sean Payton dials up a double move to be that aware that your corner's out.
Right there, 23.
To take the shot at Jackson. They have been so situationally aware and aware of the personnel in the field at that moment. That is high-level coaching, high-level throw, high-level catch. That's how you win in the playoffs, Bo.
Jackson comes in for one play with White out, and they go right after him. And now a big PAT to make it 3. And it's good, but there's still plenty of time on the clock with 3 timeouts for the Bills. And this is going to be, once again, another right down to the wire, you got to think.
We've had a few thrillers in the divisional and AFC title game over the years. I mean, that throw, just dropping it in the bucket, keep the feet in, come to the ground with it. Mims is usually the gadget guy, obviously an exceptional returner, but the pressure under all this right now, this is just such high-level football in many ways.
Great throw by Nix, his 3rd touchdown toss of the game.
And he's like, all right,
I got this. Is what it looks like he's saying. Anyway.
Want to know why? He's okay because it's like, if they would have gotten 10 yards there, a little bit more, they'd have been down to 25 seconds and it's out of your hands. At least it's still in your hands is what Josh is thinking. If they score, make them score quick.
Mims caught only 1 touchdown this year in the regular season. He rushed for 1 and he returned for 1. And I don't know how you foreshadowed it and saw it coming here today that he'd be an X factor, but he's 6 for 91. That touchdown. He's had a huge afternoon in this one after getting injured on the opening kickoff.
You're right. And his 6 targets, 6 receptions, that's pretty high efficiency. He's had a day, and he had to, I thought, if they were going to win.
By the way, you were calling on Bo Nix for that to be his moment. He was 6 of 7 on the drive. He had 2 third down conversions, one of them 3rd and 11.
Yep.
Did everything he had to do.
I think he's good. Just a heads up, everyone.
Here comes the return by Hardman. Hardman is decked by Ellis at about the 27-yard line. And out trots again Josh Allen. Can he manage another comeback?
We've talked last season's MVP. He's let the game come to him last week. This week he forced it a little bit, but he brought him back. No bigger drive of this season, obviously, than this one right here. It's his will against Denver's dynamic defense.
Back to throw. Now going to try to fling it and completes it. It's Kincaid with the catch and a timeout called by Buffalo. He got 9 out of it. Almost got sacked for a big loss.
And that fumble, or that ball was out there, almost a fumble, but right here, if he would have really gone back to throw that ball, it would have been stripped. And that's just Josh Allen putting the cape on right now. We've seen it before. This is another test, though, because they know you've got to throw the ball. And this defense has feasted on opposing quarterbacks this year in that situation.
You may have seen the target line. That's for the career long for Prater, which happened in this building in 2013 when he was a member of the Broncos. And at that point, he set the NFL record with a 64-yarder, the first to ever get to that mark. Of course, it's been far eclipsed this year. But the 41-year-old was making 60-yarders exactly at 60 during warm-ups. Second and 1.
He's changing the play. He's bringing him back to protect.
Brings Knox into the backfield to help out. And down the sideline they go, and it is brought down. And it's again Brandon Cooks with a big catch on a late drive as he had against.
I don't know. Did he catch
Incomplete pass, 3rd down.
This is close.
Incomplete.
I think his knee is going to be the key because he didn't get 2 feet in. Does the left knee get down? Oh, the wrist and forearm hit before the knee.
Yeah, the wrist was out of bounds.
I thought, because I was watching his knee, I was like, I think he might be in. The knee's going to be down in bounds, and he did. But the wrist, forearm got out of bounds first.
Let's get back to the situation at hand because it's still 3rd and 1. And you have
you can't do tush push. You only got 2 timeouts. You need more yards. Take advantage of the situation, and you're going to have ability to take your shots. Now, you don't love this. There's Surtain down there, but you can go up top. Watch Kincaid. Oh, they got him.
They got the Broncos to jump. Yep, they've already signaled it's going to be the 5 yards and first down.
Infraction, number 0, defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Cooper got twitchy. First down for Buffalo.
The key to that, Sean Payton's going to be upset, is because Josh Allen said, hey, reset the play clock. You guys told us it was a catch, not a catch, and they reset it, so he was able to go on 2 leg lifts. Haven't been able to do that recently, and that's why you got Cooper.
Ball out to the 41. 37 seconds. Here's Allen throwing off his back foot and incomplete. Looking down the field for Coleman, who's double covered. There was big pressure on Allen here.
Yeah, and it's coming from Allen. It's a TT stunt inside, but this is a throwaway smartly because Hufanga was coming over, and under this pressure right here from Allen coming in, he doesn't have time, so you got to throw it out and away from the safety because the corner's not looking.
41-yard line, 32 seconds. You still got the 2 timeouts, so you can work the middle of the field.
Yep, and they'll have a chance here.
There he goes to Shakir, who laterals it back, and they've got a big gain with Davis, and they're in field goal range. A hook and ladder call here in the final 30 seconds, and the Bills are all the way down to about the 32-yard line. A timeout call by the Bills.
I can't believe they pulled this out right here. It's a genius call by Joe Brady and executed to perfection. I mean, this is a Ben Johnson special. I saw him do this in Detroit. They did it in Chicago. It's in key situations because everyone overflows. Timely.
27 yards on the play.
Tipped.
Ball was tipped.
That means that's a heck of a catch by Shakir. Oh.
They've got the clock now with 24 seconds, 1 timeout. What do you do here if you're Buffalo? You're already in field goal range. Do you take a shot?
It's based on what the defense is doing, but if they give me one-on-one coverage, I'm taking a shot to the end zone on this play. If there's 2 safeties back, which I would be in if I'm Denver, be back, help these outside guys. If he comes down, this ball's going down here.
That's Coleman down there. Here's Allen retreating to the 40 and heaving it deep to the end zone. Oh, looked like he was held by Moss. But there's no flag. Cooks,
he slowed up,
was the target.
This was almost a perfectly thrown ball. You're going to watch. He turns around right here and then slows up. If he'd have kept running, it would have been a sideline shot.
Gene Steratore, I see a little tug and an arm hold, but no call.
I see a little. I don't think it's enough there, Jim. Honestly, I think it's a good play.
19 seconds. Field goal from here would be 50 if they have to go that way for the tie to send it to overtime.
Don't let him throw it deep. Make him go in the middle and take it, Josh.
They go middle, incomplete. And that's probably best for Buffalo right there anyway. Shakir would have only had a couple of yards.
You're exactly right. Kincaid has a chance over the middle because you see Singleton come right off there. You have that possibility here. You can't take a sack. If you do, you can still technically kick it, but then it's really long.
Especially for a 41-year-old kicker.
And you know these safeties are going to be deep. I think this is a Brandon Cooks on Surtain possibility.
Low snap, it's fielded. Can't take the sack, goes down the middle of the field, and it's over the head of Knox, who was open, Tony.
Just could have won the game.
It's going to come down to a 50-yard field goal attempt.
He almost never missed this, but he felt Cooper on his backside, and I think that's why he missed, because this is going to be a touchdown if he hits him in stride.
It's going to be a 50-yard attempt for Prater. And if you know the Buffalo postseason history, kicks at the end of the game, there's a lot to deal with. The drama, the tension, the expectations, the history. This to send it to overtime. Timeout called by Denver. How cool can you be? You're Matt Prater. You got signed just a couple of days before the opener. Didn't even know his teammates when he showed up for the opening game against the Baltimore Ravens. He had been working as a volunteer assistant for his son's youth football team back in Arizona, and he came out and kicked the game winner in that crazy comeback, that 41-40 opening game that was really a harbinger of one of the great seasons the NFL has ever had. And now here they go. Wisnowski will hold it. Reed Ferguson, the most tenured Bill, will snap it back. And will he even watch? Here's Prater from 50. And the kick. It's long enough and good.
He's automatic. I was like, if there's a guy, he's one of the few. I'm telling you, the way he's been kicking this year, that ball starts on the line. He goes every time. And that was as clutch a kick as they have had in quite some time.
No kidding. Look at Prater.
Look at that.
Dead center.
Ball doesn't move.
A player who kicked for the Broncos in 6 postseason contests. He's just had an amazing career from long distance. He's made all of these 50-yard plus kicks in his life. Well, this is the biggest of all.
I can tell you right now, I'm not kicking this ball to Mims. I'm going to go ahead and kick this ball in the end zone and just have them down it. 35, I don't think they'd take the chance there. Or you're going to squib kick it, but you can't squib anymore because it's got to land after.
You got to get it in, in the landing zone.
This is a scary situation here. It's like I'm going to kick it about 5 yards into the end zone and see what he wants to do.
Okay, he's going to kick it in the landing zone to about the 6. And dropping to a knee quickly is McLaughlin with a second left.
Yep.
In regulation.
They didn't even have Mims out there, so that was smart.
And they've added now 2 more seconds. And I would anticipate nothing crazy here. We saw something crazy before the first half.
That's why they did that there. Running it out, getting a ball stripped out of you, and someone picks it up and scores. What is the percentage you're going to return it? Lower. Same thing here. This is going to be downed, and we're going to go to a 5th period to see who goes to the AFC Championship game.
Okay, well, that was 60 minutes of just tremendous action. It felt like every play had something either strange, intense, meaningful happening.
Exciting as any game I've done in a while.
Yeah, I mean, the overtime rules for the postseason, they changed. They had to be changed. Remember, we were there for Kansas City
and New England
and Buffalo.
It started with New England when they went from
that one first. You're right.
Then they went to the next.
But the back and forth in that divisional game.
Yep.
And after that, after that game, there was an outcry.
Yeah.
On the spot, we were talking about it before we signed off the air. They've got to change it. And the momentum never stopped, and they changed the postseason overtime rules. And then we saw it applied.
And then to the regular season, 2 point.
Gentlemen, we are about to begin an overtime period that will continue until a winner has been determined. Each team gets an opportunity to possess the ball. From a timing standpoint, we essentially begin a new game, and all the replay reviews will be initiated by the replay official. Just a reminder, America 250 is heads. The other side is tails. Buffalo gets to call the toss. He's called heads. It is heads. You've won the toss. And they would like to kick.
It's always interesting. And the reason you kick is because now you have the ability to understand how many points they scored.
Denver will get the ball first at this end.
In one of them, Tebow to Demaryius Thomas, 80 yards on the first play of overtime. Rules were different back then that won it. And then the double overtime win executed by the Ravens and Flacco to beat Peyton and the Broncos. Here is Mims being pushed out at the end by Savage. And now it's time for Bo Nix and the Broncos to reset and go to work in overtime. What would you do here if you were Sean Payton?
Well, I think you found a little recipe. They've used more motion in this game than they have the entire season. And they've scored 3 touchdowns on it. And the biggest one was when they motioned Jackson to go get over there, or they motioned Mims to go get on Jackson. Now, though, White is back in the game, so you can't necessarily get the right matchup because these guys are really good on the outside. But I do think you got to have some kind of bootleg, move the pocket, make sure Bo Nix gets to use his legs and his arm.
That's big to get White back. His first snap coming from the 28.
There they are, coming after him. They've been having success with it until the last play for a touchdown.
Here's the throw, and Sutton has the catch, and Bishop able to grab him by the ankles. Otherwise, that could have gone for a much longer distance. Goes for 11.
This is fortunate a little bit. It's a great throw right in between 2 guys. You wouldn't necessarily say, let's throw a curl into cover 2. But Bo Nix sees it, and he rips it right in there. Great drive starter.
And again, Sutton didn't have a catch the first 56 minutes of the game. Now he has 4 catches.
He has played outstanding, even though he hasn't got the ball each time. He's opened up other things, but he's going to have to get it on this drive for them to win.
Another new set of downs. From the 39, and that one comes out of the hands. Sutton unable to hold on to it that time.
Yeah, but this ball is in a position where you got to catch it. Just a little outstretched, but that should be pretty easy for a guy with Sutton's talent. Every play matters. I mean, think about your fan base. Every single throw, and how do you not root for both these teams? Well, I guess if you're a Denver fan, you don't root for both. If you're a Bills fan, you don't root for both too. That would be
a lot of fans with Mafia out there that have their choice. And here is a little wide receiver screen is shut down by Taron Johnson. As now you got a real danger zone here for Denver. Well, that's a one right there.
Nobody runs more screens. They've got a ton of screens, swing screens, all this crazy stuff they do. Sean Payton, the problem was going into this game, I didn't think that would work. No one's better at rally tackling and getting to the ball and getting them on the ground. No run after catch as Buffalo is. It's going to come down to Bo Nix.
Yep. They had a conversion on that late 4th quarter touchdown drive of 3rd and 11.
They backed up earlier. Expect pressure here.
Sutton at the top with Benford on him. Here's Nix stepping up and throwing. Did that hit the ground? It's on the ground, incomplete. Benford on the coverage as foreshadowed. And the Broncos are going to have to punt.
They set the corner blitz from the bottom, and Bo had to move, and then the throws just... Oh, that could have been caught too. It's actually a great throw by Bo Nix right there.
Josh Allen doing a little officiating from the bench, knowing now he's got a chance to go down, take his team to the AFC Championship. Hardman is back deep.
And this is why you go second, because now a field goal wins it.
Hardman on a line drive punt near the sideline. Steps away from it. And that's a beautiful boot. Crawshaw with the punt that will be spotted at the 8-yard line. 54 yards, pinning him inside the 10.
And here you go, Josh. You got the best player coming into the playoffs in the NFL going against maybe the best pass defense or top 2 or 3 in the NFL, and the #1 seed. Here we go.
Next score wins the game. He's going to start this drive under center with Cook behind him. Give it to Jimbo Cook. And he is completely stopped in his tracks. Maybe got a yard out of it.
It's a great blitz by Locke right up the middle. They knew what play was coming. Everyone's playing it close to the vest.
Look at this. Never won an overtime game.
He's made some big plays, I can tell you that. It just hasn't gone his way. I don't think he's lost many playoff games. He just needed that help.
And back, as we mentioned before, when he didn't have a chance to match, when the rules were different.
You're exactly right.
2nd and 9. Stands at the goal line. Steps up away from the heat. And now holds onto it with 2 hands as he's ridden down after a 4-yard gain by Cooper.
Great adjustment by Denver, blitzing early on the first play. This time they drop into cover 4, and Josh wants to make sure of things. Lucky to get out of here. That could have been a hold in the end zone, which could have ended the game the other way. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, the safety would have won the game. So now you got 3rd down, 3rd and 5.
And because the score's tied and they didn't score any points, you're not going for it on 4th down here.
Empty backfield.
Got to get the snap off.
5 receivers. Allen on the run, finds Kincaid. Oh, he was able to buy some time. They barely provided any rush.
They rushed 2 guys. 2. I haven't seen that this year. And they put the 3rd one at a spy. And Josh's clock, his internal clock was sped up. But look at only 2 rushers. It's a great job by McGovern helping out in the spy, but it gave Josh too much time. And if he lets go of that ball, it's going to end poorly. Just had to slow his internal clock down.
On 3rd and 5, they pick up 13 yards and get out of that pickle.
Wow. They've had success under center here. Some tosses, getting out on the edge.
They go back to Cook. Up the middle, 2 Broncos and a bunch of other helmets waiting for him, including Greenlaw. And he's got about 3 out of it.
This is where you can see the huffing and puffing by all the Buffalo players. Sean Payton talked about it with Tracy at halftime. He says, I do know one thing. Having the 2 weeks off, it will help us in the second half. And he was just talking about this situation late in the game.
Meanwhile, on the other side, you got Buffalo. A short week for them, having played on Sunday and then coming here on a Saturday.
And they've had 73 plays on offense today. That's a lot in this environment.
Timeout call by Denver.
That actually might help Buffalo a little bit just to catch their breath. I know it sounds silly, but that's a real thing.
Of course, Josh Allen is familiar with what it takes to play at altitude, having played up at Laramie up the road 130 miles away, which is 2,000 feet higher above sea level than it is here.
So this is easy for him, you're saying, just the altitude?
Well, he's used to it.
How about that 3rd down play? Just extending it.
The Rams at the Bears. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I go back to the right side.
From behind, they come after him. Flips it over to Cook. Trying to get to his feet and just gets back to the line of scrimmage. And that was a dangerous moment. A couple of things happened right there. They nearly sacked him. And then that was a dangerous little flick of the football, too.
I thought this was going to be a sack fumble right here. I can't believe he had the awareness to feel that guy behind him. And obviously the flip was a poor decision. But his just instinct ability to recognize someone's behind him, that looked like this was going to end the game with that strip fumble and getting field goal range right there.
Well, they've converted on a 3rd and 5 already here in overtime. Now they've got a 3rd and 7. I don't think the Broncos will be rushing just 2 this time.
I'd take a timeout if I was Buffalo.
The play is off. Here comes the blitz. Little screen pass to Davis. A race to the chains, and he gets there. 1st down, Buffalo. Kincaid threw a big block over there, Tone.
You're exactly right. This is Josh Allen. Why you don't take time out? Because he actually knew there was pressure. He's going to be like, hey, listen, I want you to come back, pretend to block the edge, but then go on a route. I got you. Nope. And no one's going to be there to get him. Got to run all the way across the field. That is the veteran leadership of Josh Allen getting to the right play in a critical situation.
Look at that block by Kincaid right there near the sticks. That was huge. They needed 7. They got 9. They go with 3 tight ends, including Hawes on the field.
This is where you're dying just to get a 10-yard run on a toss.
Cook, they've made quick stops on him of late.
Yeah, they've been coming after him. They know they're playing it safe on first down. And so they're basically saying, we know you're running, which would have given you the chance, but you don't want to accidentally turn it over. But someone's going to have to do something a little outside the norm. Vance Joseph, what a season, might be a head coach. Bo Nix, great game. But it all comes down to Josh Allen and this defense.
Second and 10. Pocket seal, pass, low, and incomplete. That was Hardman who had his hands on it.
Well, this is actually a perfectly thrown ball, but Hardman keeps going higher and almost comes up with it. But if you run that route enough times, and remember, he's not had a ton of time on task with Josh Allen, and he just keeps taking it high, and Allen throws it flat because he looked off to the left. And that's what happens when you have a lot of receivers down. Just the little subtle things.
So 2 for 2 on third down on this drive, but this is 3rd and 10.
Coming after him all out.
They pick it up and they go deep down the field, and the pass is caught. No, it's McMillan has the football. How about that? Jaquan McMillan ends up in a wrestling match with the football. It just looked like Cooks might be able to make the play like he did a week ago.
They blocked it up perfectly. McMillan does a good job not getting. Well, we're going to need you on this one, Gene.
Yeah, this is really close. I'm not sure that Cooks has possession coming to the ground there to say that it would be simultaneous. It feels to me like Cooks doesn't have firm possession of the football when they're down by contact there.
Wow, that is close. I mean, reaches up, has it for a moment, and then as they roll over, it ends up in the arms of McMillan.
We don't ever see this.
Yeah, you would go interception here because the ball doesn't hit the ground, and if he doesn't have firm possession, but the defensive back does, whenever he rolls,
whoever gets possession
first is down by contact.
Right? Whoever gets possession first. It's weird. He's down, but he's not down.
He's got to have possession when he's down there, though.
That's crazy. That is a unique one, but I think they got to.
Yeah, I'm surprised they were on the ball so quickly. Over here explaining to Sean McDermott.
It's rare to be down on the ground, laying on him, and then say, give me the ball.
First charge timeout. Buffalo, a 30-second.
He wants to give him more time to look at it, and he wants an explanation on this.
Does he have a case? That's the question, Gene.
No, I don't think he does, Jim. I just don't think Cooks really has firm possession of the football when both players hit the ground. Quite honestly, I think by the time they both get down there and you're defining firm possession, I think it's on McMillan. I mean, he's got it up top, but I thought he lost it as he was falling toward the ground there, which wouldn't put him down by contact.
Yeah, and that was slow-mo. Here's real speed.
Goes to the ground, rolls over, and it ends up in the arms of McMillan.
Well, then why couldn't he? Okay, his feet are on him there. That's why he couldn't get up and run. But that's going to stand.
In their last game, Week 18, which they had to win to get the 1 seed, McMillan scored the game's only touchdown on a pick 6.
You're right. I mean, has there been a bigger play in quite some time in Denver than that one?
That was huge. Mims got some blockers out there. Let the Bills hold them to about 3.
These defenses have just turned it up a notch. I mean, this has been all out for 5 quarters, and it just continues.
There's a target line with Lutz. Career long is 60. That would be to the 42-yard line for a 60-yard attempt, just to give you an idea.
I just think you got to be aggressive at one point and try and go win the game, because the defenses are not going to give up something easy anymore.
Nick's back to throw from the pocket. Brings it over to Harvey. Nice move to get past Shaq Thompson and keeps his balance going as he approaches midfield. Big time play by the rookie second rounder that goes for 24 yards. Had he been tackled initially, they would have had a third down coming up, but he went right past Thompson, overran it.
This is just an outstanding job. This is why, I mean, that cut was so dynamic. It just changed the leverage and angles for the entire Bills defense, and now you know the nerves right there when you're sitting there and you have no control over it. You're depending on everyone else. Bo Nix, big-time protection call on that last one, Jim. He changed the protection, figured out who was coming. That's why that was able to be there.
Mims is in the backfield. Pass is down the field, and it is knocked away by Benford. No flag. And this crowd wants one. There's Benford plays to the crowd. It was intended for Humphrey.
They took their shot. Gene?
I think that's really good football, fellas.
Yep.
Both guys hand fighting. Forearms go up for the football. No call. We got to play right now. This is a good no call.
Benford, who's no one throws the ball outside the numbers more than Bo Nix. Today, not near as much, but the time or two that he has been successful until then.
Second charge timeout, Buffalo. A 30-second timeout.
That's as much to think about your call as to give your guys a break. A lot of plays today.
78 plays run by the Bills offense, 66 by the Broncos.
And you're on a short week, Buffalo, you're right.
In overtime, Denver has had 7 plays, and they've thrown it every time.
You could see when everything's on the line that you're going to go ahead and stick with who you trust the most. Obviously, they have that belief in Bo Nix, and look at that. They've done it all year.
Yeah, 11 times, 1-score wins. Last year, they had only one 1-score margin victory.
7 come from behind victories, most in Bronco history for a quarterback. Bo Nix got a shot at the 8th, and it would be huge.
It's a 2nd and 10 from the 47. Again, lofts it down the field over the shoulder, and there's the flag on Taron Johnson trying to defend Sutton, and that will set up the Broncos in field goal range.
Sutton was going to play a major role in this because they're going to have to play man-to-man coverage, and he's the guy who's got the size on Johnson there. Great job putting him in the slot to get the size matchup, but it was his release.
There's also 2 flags in the backfield, by the way, Tony.
Oh.
Yeah, in the offensive backfield.
So if you got a hold, and you got the PI.
There are 2 fouls by the defense on the play. Personal foul, number 97, for roughing the passer. That penalty's declined. Pass interference, defense. That ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Wow. That throw, I said you got to take a shot downfield if you're going to go win the game. They'd come 2 times, and that right there could end up ending Buffalo's season.
Those last 2 plays were almost identical. One to Humphrey, this one to Sutton. So the contact
Gene,
occurred at the 36. A 17-yard penalty. And this time rolling left and going to try to keep it. And he's dropped back to the 38 by Bishop, Tony.
There was a lot there. I thought they were going to be further down the field than that. But I can tell you right now, you're in field goal range, and so they're going to play it close to the vest and make sure that Bo Nix doesn't put a ball in harm's way, something that could be negative. And that was, you'd think, would be a good play call, but they ran it a little bit earlier. Buffalo was all over it. I still want to get closer, wouldn't you, Jim?
Yeah, oh yeah, from here it'd be 56 yards for Lutz.
It's like you can't just say hand it off right up the middle. And Let's go kick the field goal in 2 downs.
2nd and 12. Oh, they're going to take a shot. And he's got a man wide open. And it's incomplete. White is flagged. And the Broncos are right at the doorstep of the AFC Championship game.
Play to win the game. You said you got to take shots.
Number 27, defense, automatic, first down.
Give Denver a ton of credit. 3 shots on this drive, well down the field. And let's see if it's the correct call.
"30-yard penalty on Tre'Davious White." And Josh Allen is gutted. He knows the odds now.
Everyone left it out there, and it just comes down to a play or two, and not many flags down the field like that today, and you get too late.
You just move it right to the middle between the hashes, and you bring out a guy that Sean Payton had down in New Orleans. He wanted him here. He's had 3 game-winning kicks this year. Will Lutz against the Giants, at Houston, against Kansas City in one of their matchups. Oh, we got a flag out. As Tre'Davious White cannot still get over that pass interference call.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 27 of the defense. 15-yard penalty will be measured half the distance to the goal. Automatic, first down.
Gene, I got to ask you, was that the right call on the White?
I felt like it was, Jim. I felt like he chopped down on that left arm when he wasn't playing the football. So you had a chop on that arm. I felt like it was a good call.
No, McDermott has 1 timeout. He can try to ice him if he wants. It's just a 24-yard kick. And I think they're going to let it go. Here we go. This is it.
Timeout.
Yeah, there it comes.
Yeah, you would always take it there. What a game, back and forth. Both teams deserving of the win, but Denver with the 1 seed looks not done yet.
Yep.
Like they're going to come out, and a lot of it was because their aggressiveness on the final drive and put the trust in Bo Nix. Started off with, they passed it the entire way.
And again,
ran it with him with his legs. It was in his hands the whole time.
If they win, if this kick is converted, they will host next Sunday. They will be the host team and be 1 step away from Super Bowl 60. $53 yards in penalties on the Bills defense on this drive, setting up the kick to close it. Lutz, who's always been clutch, has a chance to take his team to the championship game. Here it is on the way, and the Denver Broncos have won it in overtime. First, there was the play that at first looked like Buffalo was set up to win it, but you roll over and it ends up in the hands of a Bronco. McMillan. Then there was this pass interference call, the second one on this drive, second DPI that is, and then Lutz delivers the winner. And the Broncos have their first postseason win since Super Bowl 50 in what was